and there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
I'm gonna knock these stickers off. What's going on, people? We live. We doing the damn thing for episode 33, right? Is it 33?
33.
Okay. Episode 33 of the Heroes No Capes podcast. I appreciate y'all coming through. I am the Abomination, known as AJ. Ooh, clap, 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 all type of stuff. And I'm joined by my co-host, my man's, my homie, Mr. Left Eye Ego. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, everybody? You got Left Eye Ego. I'm back for another episode. I'm ready to get into it. Let's do this.
All right, now today, I'm gonna admit we failed y'all with the couple of the conversations we be trying to have, the questions, all that type of stuff, getting y'all in on the conversation. So, a lot of this stream will be that kind of like getting y'all takes on some things. We got some stories. Mr. John A. Douglas, we was on his stream and they started talking about it, and I was like, hey, that's a nice little subject to talk about, people's different experiences growing up with the entertainment and how I guess like family in the household allowed or didn't allow certain things. But also the question in the poll is, what is your favorite type of hero? I forgot what I said, but basically what's your favorite type of hero, that genre, sci-fi or fantasy? The science fiction, I fell into a vat of this, or this shit blew up in my face. I got zapped at the right time by science, and I got powers, or the magic, the prophecy, something supernatural, all that type of stuff. But we're gonna start with some news. Well, first of all, let me address the chat. Talk to Ego. We're gonna be chill for the intro. We're gonna get into it, but I'm gonna let y'all know the first topic is the idea of the MCU and how I'm gonna say women are pushed. That's all I'm gonna say. Not to really shit on it. Just an idea. Just to talk about it. Just stuff we've seen. So we got my man's Dempsey up in here talking about that fire, that heat. Hey man, I can bring some blue flames, but y'all bring the red flames and the yellow flames and all that other shit, the purple shit. So y'all make it hot. John just got back from the Wakanda experience at Disneyland. Why you spend that money? But you a hard working ass nurse, man. So you got it. You got it like that. I got my chicken. I got my purple drink. I'm ready.
You didn't see that, did you? You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's For y'all didn't see it, it's Disney is on some other shit. I'll just say that. I can bring that up in later on from the Twitter page that I saw them, but
bro, we talked about that yesterday.
Some other shit. Disney is on some other shit. I know people that didn't know. It's like, Disney is really on some other shit, guys.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to know what that purple drink tastes like.
Wow.
That's a tough choice. Mike has bad knees there, man. That's tough. We throwing you in it. You got to make a decision that's gonna make or break you. Feel like, yeah, bro, it's stressful. It's stressful. Let's go. What up, Cannoli Sasquatch, my supernatural homie? Copa Catania, let's do this thing. Let's do it, man. You up in here. You doing it with us. Let's make it happen. Team, squad, Snow Dub. What up, Ice Man? Don't melt, bro. Don't melt with all this fucking heat we about to bring. That's that magical ice, though. The magical snow. That shit don't melt. It's forever. No notification from YouTube. Hail to all of you. Pops, I don't like to blame everything on YouTube, man. I have to do better about putting that link out, thumbnail game, all that type of stuff. So I need to start doing that earlier so y'all can have time to get those notifications. Gotta catch them all. Clarence P90, he on that Pokemon, that Scarlet and Violet. I checked out. Shit's garbage. No fun for y'all. I can't do it no more. As far as the MCU, Gary from Neurotic was a prophet, bro. It's beautiful.
Agreed.
It's a beautiful fucking term, MCU. And they hate it. They hate to hear it. But we ain't making shit up. It's just, hey, this is what we've been seeing. Retweet the link, y'all. I think you're saying you retweeted it. But appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, man. Glad y'all folks up in here. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Make the algorithm work. Do the internet thing. Do the technology thing. Ego, our first topic. You got that info, man. Go on and make that happen.
All
Oh,
right,
hold on. My bad.
Go ahead.
All right, y'all. We finna get into the next topic. I'm sorry. We finna get into the first topic. Heroes, no capes.
Like that.
He didn't say nothing. He let it marinate too long, but that's how we trying to get these clips out and kind of differentiate and kind of be preemptive with the the editing and whatnot.
All right. So we checked this from Heroic Hollywood. Since this tweet was coming out maybe about 5 days ago, it says all the main Avengers now have a new female version of themselves in the MCU. So we got Captain Carter, we've got Jane Foster's version of Thor. I did not even see these damn cornrows in her helmet for Ironheart.
The cornrows, the black face,
bro. I was giving all the passes until I saw the cornrows in the actual helmet. That's ridiculous. Anyway,
tells you everything you need to know.
Oh, God.
What they trying to get away with, y'all. I've been telling y'all, Disney pulled it with the crows back in the day. It's like the racism is there, but it's like under the nose. It's like, ooh, are they gonna catch this? Is somebody gonna say so?
God.
They playing chicken with how much racism they can get out. Hey, it is what it is.
Okay, we got She-Hulk, Discount Black Widow. Is this Kate Bishop? I believe it's Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
We've got Black Pantheress, and I'm trying to figure out who this is supposed to be.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
I don't know if it's the Sorceress Supreme, I guess. But anyway, you guys get the point. Basically, I think it's like they're trying to do like the female version, which is like Alpha Force, something like that. So it's kind of where we are with these female interpretations of male heroes. That was the main thing that I was seeing there. Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, with that, we was talking about it's not anything that's exclusive to the MCU. As these things was happening, which is the benefit of us being in contact with others that are fans of so many other different properties, like Rings of Power, for instance, with how their handling of Galadriel. I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan like that, but then some like Star Wars, which I'm a fan of, but I'm not a super fan of. But as you see with the sequel trilogy and the pushing of the Rey, but not only Rey, the new general lady that was cozied up with Carrie Fisher and like that whole thing.
Always wearing a ball gown during a war.
Yeah. So all that type of stuff. It's been other places too. So more examples of that is, I don't know if you have that available to pull up, but we was talking about how National Treasure has the new female version, as well as Margot Robbie's, I think, version of the Pirates, or her Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Like that was supposed to come out, but it got canceled. So it's not. And Disney, I think Disney owns both of those properties, but it's not exclusive to Disney. It's been happening, but that with the way men are depicted, dumb, lazy, incompetent, I bypass the compressor. Like the answer is all it's always been there, man. It just took a female mind to figure it out. The way She-Hulk handled that show, that character, and the reception of it in early MCU by men. Yes, John Douglas says The Witcher pushed this title character into the background and focused way more on the female leads. Yes, so it's happening everywhere. And although MCU is funny, it's spot on. It's like it's not exclusive to Marvel. It's happening everywhere. And me personally, y'all know how much I look into like entertainment and media. Because all of this shit is not every decision is made for a reason. And everybody is not fucking up in the same direction of the currently what we have.
Right.
So just that. What are your thoughts on that, Ego, with the spreading of the strong woman and the incompetent, good for nothing man?
We had this actual strong women in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. So if you're considering, we had Ripley, there was Sarah Connor, um, even good God, I don't know if it was Bridget Nielsen when she was Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat. We've always had what the strong female archetype is, and it's not necessarily anything about physical strength. It was about emotional intelligence, having a strong mind, and doing what needed to be done. But there was still a man that was present, even with Sarah Connor. I mean, the guy was in the original Terminator. She let herself be vulnerable around him, even though there's a threat of this walking T-1000. So, you know, you can still be strong, be vulnerable. And instead, we're getting versions of women that want to act like men, which is weird because they talk about toxic masculinity, but there's no toxic femininity. There's
Yeah.
misandry, there's misogyny, but there's no misandry. And so that's kind of where there's a problem. It's saying that you want these strong female characters that have zero flaws. Well, could you really even be friends with someone that has no flaws, or could you relate to someone that has no flaws? And that's where I draw the issue. I mean, the best version of a female character that I ever really saw, at least in the last 3 or 4 years, was in Stumptown. It was a Colby Smuthers who did How I Met Your Mother, and she was on she was in the Avengers too. Like she was the second in command to Nick Fury, but she plays a private detective that's a war veteran, and she went to the war. She actually signed up for the military to get away from her fiance because she didn't want to embed too much on his family culture because they're Native American. And so, he tries to sign up for the war to reach back to her, try to get her back, but he winds up dying. And so she's dealing with grief. She's dealing with loss. She's dealing with being like a tossed wave crashed back and forth. She's taking care of her disabled brother. Her best friend owns a bar. And so she's struggling with all of these things, but it doesn't take away from her actual strength, her ability to get the job done and to find the correct answers. And so, even though it went a season and got canceled, that's the best version of a female character that I have seen. And I actually say, hey, that's what you need more of. Someone that actually faces conflict, someone that messes things up, someone who doesn't get it right the first time or is better than the predecessor, someone that's actually relatable.
And going back to the decisions being made for some reason, it's a weird. I know Gary calls it like penis envy, but now I thought back on Ray and she had this big ass staff, and it's like the females they have to show that they're powerful, but if some people can get away with having a long ass accessory, like with Galadriel and the I guess the sword, like between the legs, or just like shit like that, then it's like, what are you trying to say? But then politics is downstream from culture. So we're seeing it being mimicked in our own like laws and this whole conversation. Like there's something is bigger things happening, but you see how in order to get the people prepared for that state of the world that's so much more accepting of things, you get the people's minds ready, or like this social engineering with the media, For instance, the Woman King that came out. Now that's, I ain't gonna say it's exclusive to black folks, but two white ladies made this movie empowering black women and having men being like subservient, submissive, all that type of stuff. And then we see in Wakanda Forever them killing. Y'all know what I'm saying. That's just the latest example of that. But if you can, there's just something that I always think of. Seeing it so widespread. Okay, that's what I mean by it's an agenda. It's not just Disney saying like, "Hey, we just want to represent all the people. We just want to have, it's a lot of little girls that watch our stuff, and we want them to watch more than just the princesses. We want to get them into all this other stuff." It's like, okay, but then when you see everybody else doing it, agenda. So that's my not necessarily a fear, but just the anticipation of what's to come. Why do you want your people kind of flipped with the whole gender roles and whatnot? Why does that need to be demonized? You get what I'm saying?
I do. It's all I just say is I know we're not supposed to say things like a certain way, but it's another way of saying I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
We find slicker ways to say it the older we get, but if you can get to the point where you're saying, well, hey, I'm better than you, like I actually have, my significant other, we have kids, we're better financially than you are, you know, we're doing better in life than you are. Look at that. Like I tell you what to do and you actually wind up doing it. You think that I'm helping you. I mean, I don't know if you've been hearing about the situation with that woman that happened in Mexico. Like she went to Mexico with six other
No,
friends and then she didn't make it back. And she
she.
thought
I remember it was a group. Is that the same
it
thing? I don't know.
was. It
Okay,
is. It
okay.
is. She went with a group. And it was like none of them were she thought they were her friends. And actually her best friend was with her when this happened. And
Mm-hmm.
then, she didn't make it. And then they
Yeah,
came back. And so, you're thinking that everything that everyone does is for you, but not everyone is your friend. Not everyone that
yeah,
tells you that you should do something is doing it with your best interest at heart. Especially behind closed doors, they can say, "Look how dumb these motherfuckers are." I told
exactly.
them,
Yeah,
I told them to cut off a hot dog and make a peach with it, and look what they did. They did
yeah,
exactly that. Like, ooh, what else can you get them to do? What you want me
yeah,
to say I can do? And so that's kind of I think where we are with things, and that if you read enough, you'll find that it's kind of always been this way. It's usually people at the very top that have a lot of financial connections and have a lot of say in things will try to push something because I mean they kind of feel like they can.
yeah.
So
They can't. They've been empowered. Every time they get away with a little bit of disrespect, again with the disguise of representation, then they just like, oh shit, they playing chicken. What other element can I get in there? What else can we get away with? And as soon as they get called out for something, it's like, oh shit, our bad. We're gonna dial it back a little bit. But it's still there. You still got the same people with the same mentalities there. So they're just gonna get slicker with how they get away with it. But you saying like people saying that they're friends and will do some dumb stuff to you. Like the companies will say they love you and care about you, but depict us the way that they do. It reminded me of, and I'm not so much into anime, but I dabble. I'm here and there, and I think High School of the Dead, about some high school kids and zombies attack, and then you see this shot of these two girls running, and they're like, "Oh my God, Jenny, like we're best friends. We'll always be together." And as soon as the zombie came out and it grabbed the friend. And then she was like, "Help me, help me!" And then the girl said, "Like, get away from me, let go of me, you stupid bitch!" And then she kicked her in the face. But then she got mauled by a bunch of zombies, and it's just like these companies will again. They'll tell you like, "Yes, we're doing it for y'all. We're doing it for representation. We uplifting people." They'll say that real quick. But then once you pay attention to how these characters are being handled, then you like, come on, bro, that's not a good look. That's disrespectful. And it's crazy because when we say something like, hey, I'm not gonna stand for this, I want better, then everybody is like, just the criticism that start to come our way for speaking out against this. It's like we're being made the villains. That's funny because when evil is lurking, when they're trying to get what they got going, you know, then you demonize, then you tell people, hey, don't listen to this group. They're sending the wrong message. They're not saying the right things. Those people are terrible. So you get what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's entertainment, but this shit is being it's used for like bigger things. Like look at the not too political, but the whole jab thing. Every superhero had that motherfucking mask on their face. You have somebody like Superman. I'm pretty sure I don't know too much, but I don't think he can get like just sick like that. Or like like
You can't.
the Justice League having this fucking mask on their face. I'm like, bro, what is that doing for you? Superman, how is you getting this jab with these earth needles? Like, do they do they mention that in the comic?
It's a kryptonite syringe is their
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. That's even worse for Superman. Hey, bro,
It is.
go on let us slip this kryptonite in you to give you this good juice that's gonna protect you from
So
whatever.
essentially what we're saying is this, and we talked about it on Mr. Douglas's channel, right? The way I described it is, if I built a house from the ground up and I designed it, I can come into that house and put anything wherever I want to because it's my house. Especially if I have a vision for, how I'm going to use square footage. Hey, we'll put the family area here. These are the bedrooms. This is the backyard. This is what we'll use the garage for, et cetera, et cetera. Right. But at the end of the day, it's still your house. It's the house that Marvel built, the house that Disney built, the house that DC built. Right. And you respect the property. When you're bringing in these writers, especially these modern day ones, it's supposed to be treated like an Airbnb. Don't move the furniture around. Clean up after yourselves for whatever you use. Use the rooms for their intended purposes. But what they've been doing instead is they've been coming in acting like, oh, this is my house. I did all this. You know what? It's like their own personal HGTV uh, HGBT reality TV show where they're
Yeah.
knocking down walls. Hey, look, you
Busting
know
the
what?
walls.
Right. It's like, you know what? I really think the kitchen should be right in front of the bathroom. I
Yeah.
like that. Whereas everyone else saying, why would you do that? No, no, no. I like where it is. You don't see my vision. They knock down these walls. They bust down the chimney. And the problem is, by the time that you figure out the damage that has been done, they're onto the next property. And so here
Yeah.
you step in, and you're like, well, who's gonna fix all this? They're like, well, I mean, it's obvious that it's broken, so you take care of it. I need you to fix it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're saying, is the fact that there isn't a respect for the house that these people are actually in. And instead of running around in here with a sledgehammer, relax, respect the house, and then move on to your next destination. And then the actual people that own the house, like, hey, you know what? That person was really respectful of my property. And I actually am giving them, the okay to go on to bigger and better things.
I'm glad you said that because they're building of the house. Again, Black Panther is the only recent example, but it seems like, these feminists, whoever they walk into it and they looking around like, oh yeah, I'm gonna smash all that. That strong man. Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let me get that shit out of here. This adventure story, this overcoming obstacles and bust that down. Accountability for them, not for us. Get that shit out of here. And then, like you said, we coming in and they wiping they face like, hey, we did a good thing. They were like, damn, bro, you woman, you done took the whole roof off. And they're like, yeah, it's supposed to be like that. This is better now. And then
Right.
you said like we have to like repair the damage. I think that's where the independent stuff come in because we're going to take the places. I'm speaking it into existence. We will, during the Renaissance, we will have to take the places of these people creating this great entertainment, whether it be heroes, just cartoons. Like I think Pop says something about this overcorrection of the Me Too movement. Like we're gonna have to get some Johnny Bravos back out there. Some like, hey, pretty lady, well, come here, mama. We're gonna have to get some of that energy back into the world. And then hey, that can lead into one of our
Well,
later
I'm,
segments. But
I mean, the irony of the Me Too movement is we did this in the 90s already. That was the problem. Is
as in
that,
what?
as in when so do you remember when Brett Kavanaugh was getting
I don't even know what that
oh
name
god.
means.
Okay, basically he was up for Supreme Court justice, right? And you
Okay.
have pretty much your confirmation hearings. It's that they pretty much you get grilled, they ask you questions before you actually wind up getting confirmed to the Supreme Court. So in the 90s, Clarence Thomas was actually supposed to be like the second black Supreme Court judge that was up. And so there was a whole, a Me Too movement against him. And it was a
Mhm.
really, really big thing, and because it was supposed to be the second Supreme Court justice black guy. and so we had this thing on, he had allegations. Then it was a whole thing about we had to do harassment in the workplace. It was all up and down like the early to mid 90s. And I think after that, people kind of forgot, or the people that were born don't remember it. So for them, they're like, oh my God, this is the most prolific movement in our time frame. But it's like, we've already done this 20 years ago. In fact, if you look at the Me Too movement, fashion sense now, and kind of the political climate from 1992 to 1996, it mimics what we're doing right now. So the thing is that time is secular, and so it's like, well, you had those strong woman characters in the 90s, but they are actually about something, as opposed to the women characters you have now. And if you want, I can actually bring up the next one for the National Treasure, because that kind of bleeds into that too.
You used to bring that up a long time ago.
I'll wait for you to give me the okay on that one. I know where you were going with it. So I got it right here. All right, we're up now. So National Treasure Edge of History poster features a new generation of treasure hunters. And all right, so in 1 month, Disney Plus is leading viewers on another treasure hunt, this time in the form of a TV series with National Treasure Edge of History. Following the footsteps of its movie predecessors, Edge of History introduces a new protagonist as she tries to solve the mysteries of her past. Ahead of the release this December, Disney Plus has shared a new poster. And I'll show you what the poster looks like. There you go. That's poster right there. Pow. All right. All right.
Big woman head.
Big ass head. The poster maintains the general tone of National Treasure, echoing those of the movies in general layout and color palette. Lisette Oliveira as Jess and Catherine Zeta-Jones as Billy are most prominent, as they will eventually become the main character conflict throughout the first season. Below them are the remainder of the core cast. Jordan Rodriguez as Ethan, Jake Austin Walker as FBI agent Ross. They love using just Ross as the last name. Antonio Cipriano as Oren, and Zuri Reed as Tasha, of course. And in the true National Treasure spirit, and as an homage, Walker holds a torch. That's the interesting thing, too. You have these strong woman characters, but a dude still holding the torch. Anyway, locations are an integral part to any good treasure hunt, and the poster features some of the key places for Edge of History. Each one keeps the trend of historically significant locations, leading Jess and her friends through time as they search. A Mayan pyramid rests at the center, with two older-looking buildings on either side of it. Described as an expansion of the movies, Edge of History follows Jess, a 20-something dreamer whose life is flipped after she receives a clue to a centuries-old treasure. When she learns the treasure may be connected to her late father, Jess sets out to find it, enlisting the help of her friends, tech-savvy Tasha, the conspiracy-obsessed Oren, and the group's voice of reason, Ethan. With an assist from the FBI, the group races against the clock to solve the mystery before black market antiquities dealer Billy does. This series will also see Justin Bartha and Harvey Keitel reprise their National Treasures roles as Riley Poole and Peter Sadusky, respectively. All right, so done quite a bit of reading there, but I'm sending it back to you, Mr. Abomination. What are you thinking when you saw that?
I'm not thinking shit. I have no attachment to the National Treasure like franchise stores or whatever. I saw Nicolas Cage in one of them. Like, I liked it, but bro, when I say you the smart one, like, yeah, mystery. If I got to seriously think too much about some shit, I might check out.
All right,
but
go ahead.
That Indiana Jones, because was that the other example? No, it was the treasures thing. But
treasures, we'll bring it up.
But yeah, like that type of stuff it's not for me. But then again, I have not watched them. I haven't watched any Indiana Jones movie
at all.
Yeah.
And for booby traps. Wow, sir. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think Shia LaBeouf was in one.
Oh.
What does that mean? Is that the bad one or something?
Oh my god, you skipped over all the other ones and jumped right to the one that was the most controversial that no one really wanted to say that they watched. Everyone was ashamed for watching that one. But go on.
Okay, then I should be ashamed for just saying that's the only one I know about.
I'm gonna have to slide you at least one of the DVDs. Damn.
That's like me saying I like Solo.
I'll turn off this broadcast.
Look, it's all right.
I'll cut this broadcast clean off, sir.
I don't like Solo. It has some stuff in it. It had some Solo for me was what I think Andor is for some people, as in it's not the lightsabers and powers and all that type of shit. So that's what I like about Solo. And Amelia Clark, come on, bro, she been hot since we was seeing them titties in Game of Thrones. She probably was hot before that, but that just really made me be like, hey, Drogo, Drogo, he fought for that one. I feel you, bro. But yeah, seeing her be like a villain almost in that movie, then Darth Maul. Cause see, I was coming off the hype of Clone Wars. Which I know some people don't like that, but I love the fucking Clone Wars. And seeing Darth Maul, Palpatine was like, he figured out like, hey, I was just a tool for Palpatine. He was just using me so he can get to the next powered dude with more midichlorians or whatever, more power. And Darth Maul was just like, all right, bro, fuck it. Criminal enterprise, here we come. I'm about to run shit some type of way. So to see him in that Solo movie at the end and she was answering to him, it's like, oh, snap. Seeing Darth Maul's little criminal ring. So it was some good stuff about it. But the good stuff was in the Disney universe, and I know how those type of things turned a lot of people off, and these weren't the stories that they wanted. So yeah, I got some hot takes. I like some garbage, but I know it's garbage. And you ain't gonna never hear me like really fight for it. I just give my opinion and just like, hey.
At some point we're gonna have to host an unpopular opinions. What is your best horrible movie that you love watching? We're gonna bring that up next time. But yeah, I was gonna say when I was reading this article, I said this ain't nothing but Where's Carmen Sandiego. Just tell me that's what you want to make.
Yeah.
Because I actually liked the original game show. I remember when the game was on a computer floppy disk or a CD-ROM. Then I remember the cartoon show, and I remember them trying to do like the updated version in like the late 90s, early 2000s. So I would watch Where in the World's Carmen Sandiego because that's all that this sounds like. The fact that they're making it a TV series means they obviously don't believe in it enough to make it a feature film. So that's kind of the backhanded compliment. We're going to give you, Where's the Lost Treasure? Now, for the Latinos and Latinas of America, but I don't trust this enough to go longer than 6 or 7 episodes. Because if you did, then you would actually try to put it out as a movie. But Dora the Explorer, and they tried Legends of the Hidden Temple. I think it was an attempt. Those failed as actual movies. So, excuse me, that you're actually trying to put this out for these minority peoples, but you don't trust in it enough for it to be a show or to be a movie. And if you did make it a movie, then make it When the World's Carmen Sandiego. So I would actually be excited to watch that. But this,
slight rebuttal to that. Are you talking about the live action Dora the Explorer movie?
Yeah.
Which I did not watch, but they tried a live action Kim Possible movie too, and that didn't get well received.
That's what I'm saying.
But both of those properties, hey, maybe I'm the only grown dude I know that like Dora the Explorer, but I can see them actually working.
Well, Dora was skinny. That was the first problem for me.
She had baby fat when she was a kid. She grew into it. I guess.
Nah.
But Kim Possible, I got Kim Possible on the trash thumbnail, but Kim Possible, and that's what I mean by like sci-fi hero. She's an example of that to me. So it's like these things can be done, but again, why does a man have to be taken down in the process, especially from what we're seeing with this National Treasure, which the movie, I don't know, we haven't seen it, we don't know how they'll handle it. But even with the Margot Robbie's Pirates thing, what we've been seeing from the MCU is like you have to, and I think Catwoman did it with the white privilege line and the Batman, but it's like in a franchise that has been ran by men and is dominated, like it's successful because of men. Why do you have to come in and just say, fuck this dude, or like you retarded? Like this is you making, man, your issues are your own and you could have lived a perfect life a long time. It's just like no need for that. Where we used to see men and women were equal. as far as the diversity thing, all the colors were equal. Everybody just had a fucking role that they played on the team, and you nut up or shut up. You get shit done.
It's fair. I can see that. I mean, so let's look at this next example here. So we got Margot Robbie says her female-led Pirates of the Caribbean movie is dead at Disney. I guess they don't want to do it. So Margot Robbie announced in a new Vanity Fair cover story that her female-fronted Pirates of the Caribbean movie is dead at Disney. Variety has reached out to the studio for comment. It was announced in June of 2020 that Oscar nominee Robbie would be the star of a new Pirates of Caribbean movie at Disney, written by her Birds of screenwriter Christina Hodson. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know the right for Birds of Prey. Oh, Lord.
I missed it. I was reading the chat. Do you mind reading that line over for me? Because I can't really see the screen. Sure. It's like blurry.
Oh, it is? Okay. My bad.
Oh, no. I see it now. I full screened it.
Okay, so
I still need to go on and read the statement for me so I can know where you at.
Okay, so I said that Margot Robbie announced in a new Vanity Fair cover story that her female-fronted Pirates of the Caribbean movie is dead at Disney. Variety has reached out to the studio for comment. It was announced in June 2020 that Oscar nominee Robbie would be the star of a new Pirates of Caribbean movie at Disney, written by her Birds of Prey screenwriter Christina Hodson. Good.
Okay.
We had an idea, and we were developing it for a while, ages ago, to have more of a female-led, not totally female-led, but just a different kind of story, which we thought totally would have been really cool. Right. Robbie told Vanity Fair about her intended Pirates movie with Disney, but I guess they don't want to do that.
Hold on. So this is what I mean by, like, why do you have to take over a franchise and make it female-led as opposed to us just seeing a female fucking pirate movie?
Yeah.
It don't have to be. Yeah. You can make it so tonally or drastically different from Pirates of the Caribbean that people they won't automatically assume like, hey, this is just a female pirates. And female pirates are fucking cool. Like shit, I can't think of none off the top of my head, but there was one in Borderlands who was a badass female. She was black. This was before the whole representation thing. Mm-hmm. And the same, she handling her crew just like a man would. You get out of line, you walk the plank, or some shit like, she run up on a ship and she blasting, she commanding. That shit would be beautiful to see, and it doesn't have to have the name Pirates of the Caribbean.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Black Beauty popped up in my head like Black Beard, but they probably don't want to do that.
All right. So continuing on, Variety reported in summer 2020 that Disney was in early development on Robbie's Pirates movie, as well as a second reboot written by franchise veteran Ted Elliott and Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin. Jerry Bruckheimer, who produced all 5 Pirates movies starring Johnny Depp, was attached to both new projects at the time. In an interview with the Sunday Times in May, Bruckheimer said that both films remained in development. The mega producer also confirmed that the future of the Pirates franchise does not currently have Johnny Depp involved, despite rumors touting his return. Yes, we're talking to Margot Robbie. We are developing 2 pirate scripts, one with her, one without. Bruckheimer said when asked about the future of the Pirates franchise, will Depp be back? Not at this point. The future is yet to be decided. All right. So from that, a lot to kind of go into for me is the fact that the Jack Sparrow's character really made Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
He was the enigmatic, charismatic, and just overall funny character that carried all of the movies. Papa Cotton. That actually was the most expensive movie that they made for that genre, and then they came out with the sequel.
Hold on, you know about this?
Huh?
You know about this?
Pardon? I can't hear you. The headphones are cutting out.
We'll figure it out when we have a better connection.
Yeah. Breaking up, cutting out.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure I get that. I missed the Pokemon nip slip. Okay, she ain't just super hot or whatever, but hey, man, it's a free titty on the internet, bro. Come on now. If everybody else has seen it, it's just I want to see it. I want to see it. Send me that. You know about that, right? Did you hear about that?
I did. I did. I didn't want to say anything, but I heard. I'm already busted.
Man, look,
So,
look. Ain't no shame. Ain't no shame. I go
but
show my.
uh, uh, that fair point.
Yeah, I agree with that, John. The problem is Jack Sparrow didn't work as the main character. The last Pirates movie didn't work as well. And I'm not a big Pirates fan, and that was one of it. Like Johnny Depp, I don't just love Johnny Depp like that. And just to see those antics in this movie, I was like, all right, whatever. I do think the villains, the antagonists the Pirates movies really made the movies.
Okay.
So yeah, and I said this like I was talking to the Phoenixes. I don't know what stream we was on, but we was talking about it. I think it was with Zach's, but uh I don't I don't care to see another Pirates movie. So if I already don't want to see one led by a man, I damn sure don't want to see one led by the women in this climate, in this entertainment climate with Margot Robbie. I don't even think she's hot.
Well, the thing is, it's like someone in Hollywood has a type because she and Keira Knightley have the same weird jawline structure, if you look
Mhm.
at it. So I was like, someone in Hollywood definitely has a type, and it's that angular jaw. For me, it would just be like, well, hey, why can't we just go ahead and get Keira Knightley to have her own movie? So, and plus, if I take a look at this, I mean, the other problem I have is if I look at this, right? Look at these options that you have for female pirates. You're talking about the whole thing about representation and what you want. Like,
Mm.
look at this. Like, these are just female pirates that are just pulled up. You tell me you couldn't make a pirates series?
Look at this Asian one over here.
Which one we talking
Zhang
about?
Yi Shao.
Ooh,
Come on
she's
now,
not
she could have
playing
been
with
a
y'all.
badass. Look,
Shing
let's
Shi.
go fantasy with it. Give her the little Mushu dragon. Give her a little tiny dragon. You know how they had a little parrot that gets shit done. Give her a fucking dragon. We can have fun with this.
Look at that. And
Why
she
does this
married a pirate. And she
why does
married a
this shit
pirate.
have to be attached to Pirates of the Caribbean? It's because they know the name itself is gonna bring in views. They know
And
they not creative enough to make shit on their own.
right.
And
And
that's the
that's
disgusting part.
It is, and that's what I'm saying is that there are plenty of abandoned houses that are saying, "Hey, if you can fix this up any way you want, here it's yours." Like this
Yeah.
is an established building. It's pretty much like being in Detroit. I'm sorry for shouting out if you lived in there, but Papa Ego went out there. He's like, "Hey, a bunch of beautiful houses that are just completely abandoned because of the economic downturn in that city." But there are rows of untapped properties of untold life stories. And I just did that quick search with less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Find you a story that actually works, a story that actually is almost too strange to be true, yet it is, and let everyone know, hey, this person actually existed in a time where you had to be twice as hard as a man and you're on the high seas and you're doing you're working with piracy. Oh my goodness, that's history, that's action, that's um, drama. That's you're hitting all the main components. Even romance, if some of these women actually married other pirates, that's
Yeah.
5 genres I gave you. And I'm thinking almost anyone would be willing to sign on for something like that, especially if it actually happened. So there's a lot of untapped resources out there. I just think that there isn't a lot of risk taking or creativity in Hollywood to tap that potential.
During the strong woman era, if there was a story where this lady like uh married a man and maybe they did the piracy together, maybe I don't know, like some Mr. and Mrs. Smith type
Well,
shit.
that's what I'm saying. The one you pointed out, she did. They were pirates together. She married a pirate when she was
Okay.
26, and
So
that's what that. See what I mean? It's right. You just described what I just showed you.
yeah.
You
In the
see what I
current
mean?
in the current time, they would have her kill him because he was like, I can't give my life up for no man. Which, if you didn't know a prior history, I wouldn't be mad at that. Because then I'll be like, damn, this broad is so focused on her pirate mission that not even love could stop her.
But
And
that's the problem, though. The
yeah,
people that
yeah,
are writing it can't believe that that they had a relationship that was built on trust, that actually was headed in the right direction, and it was done out of love instead of duty or being kidnapped and forced against their will.
yeah.
And that's what I mean was look at the relationships of the people that write these actual stories or who direct these movies, because the way that they're writing them, they're trying to write out their therapy or
Yeah.
the way that they think relationships work because they suck at them. And it's just like, well, I can't believe they could have been together that many years without somebody cheating.
Yeah.
They were on the high seas together. You know, he was a pirate, and he said they were looking for booty, but it couldn't have been that kind of booty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's so that's what kind of corrupts these stories into the fact where you're right, people don't read, but they'll just assume
Mhm.
that, oh my God, that pirate was like that. I can't believe it. Just like I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but everyone said that who trained Mulan in the movie? Was it Chen? Is that his
Shane.
name? Chang, right? Everyone said that Chang was actually gay in Mulan, right? Because they're going back to that roundhouse with that crescent kick where she knocked him on his ass, right? And the smile he
Mhm.
had on his face, right? It's like, no, I actually trained with Justin Ice and other guys. So like the minute you train someone from knowing absolutely nothing about self-defense to actually catching you off guard, you're like, oh my God, like, yo, you got it, you did it. And so for other people, like, no, that couldn't have been the reason. It couldn't have been because she had better skill. It has to be because Chang is gay. Well, show me the evidence there on
Yeah.
that. If anything, he actually was upset that a friend lied to him, which is
Yeah.
weird because women will always say things about being upfront, having trustworthy, having boundaries. And the minute that it's violated, they cut you off. But yet, when Chang did that to Mulan, they're like, "Oh, he's just mad he wasn't a guy,
A dude.
a dude, right?"
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that the people that write these things don't really have any creativity in their own fellow man. So why should they have any faith in the properties that they've been given?
So I thought about those examples too when you said them, as far as like revisionist history. But the thing with Disney is we're taking an adult story and making it in a way to where kids can receive it. And that's different from taking a pirate love story and turning it into not necessarily the woman king, but this is not actual history. This is based on, what I'm saying, this is just stories we read from pirates. And I would excuse that story if not in current day, because it would be agenda behind it. But if somebody was just being creative and was like, okay, I read up this story of this pirate, this female pirate, I want to change these things because I want a different outcome. You ain't got to say based on a true story or all that type of shit. They ain't got to be none of that. It could just be the story you present. And then people can kind of research and find out, oh, this was based off of something else. I think if you're creative, you can get away with it. But that's the thing that we've been saying with all of these, like superheroes, for example. You could have got away with strong woman a long time ago. Like that's what we expect the female superheroes to be strong, but you're making them strong in a way that they're insufferable, unlikable. It doesn't fucking make sense. People are mad at me for saying ain't no way Shuri should beat this fucking supposed god dude in the comic book, and they like, oh, she fought in a war with Thanos, and I'm like, just because you in a battle don't exactly mean you really racked up like fucking battle experience, especially when your ass just pew 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 the whole time, and she ain't a marksman as far as I'm concerned. Like, when you see no scene to where she got a fucking vibranium spear and she throw it at something, and you know what I'm saying, just like shit like that along the way that makes me believe, oh, you're a trained warrior. You're
Right.
actually using the skills that you're acquiring or putting your experience to use that you've acquired. But then it's like, how soft does that make the man when he done had this quest for, I'm finna get these folks all this time. He's revered as a god, born in the depths or underwater, so he's all strong. Just a bunch of natural gifts that this man has, and she wins because she dehydrates him. I don't give a fuck
Turn him into beef
how
jerky.
dehydrated you get this man. He's acquired through all of his lifetime. He's acquired a body and experience that can withstand or can beat Shuri. But then in comparison with that, and then it's just popped up with the Obi-Wan thing. But I'm gonna get to that. But with Shuri, you take Black Panther and sure, you strip away a little fucking herb, But this man, the character, has been fighting internal and external threats for a long ass time, probably of Earth or not, or you know what I'm saying, like of natural causes of not. And as soon as you strip away a herb, then you telling me he losing to these two dudes that just been chilling? Now, Killmonger was, you know, in war and going around killing folks, but that's a whole different type of warfare than what they were just doing. And with the Obi-Wan thing, it's like, and I'm trying to, because I didn't really watch the shit, but if you saw, okay, so no, they didn't have to physically tear down Obi-Wan with Reva, from what I remember. Correct me in the chat, but it's just like in looking of the handling of the characters. When Reva went against, no, when Obi-Wan went against Darth Vader, he was fucking struggling. When Reva went against Darth Vader, I'm not gonna say she didn't have an issue, but she fared better than Obi-Wan. So it's like, even though they didn't directly say that this character, you know, cuts down this man or takes from him, it's like, look at the handling of it. Look at how this character performs in a fight, and then look how that woman performs in that fight. You still fucking over that man in the process. You just ain't doing it as so obviously. You get what I mean?
I do, and the obvious part is the problem, because we were actually supposed to see if there was going to be a further agenda in RIPD 2 that's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
So this is what happened. I actually love Jeffrey Donovan as an actor.
Look, I talk to the chat. I gotta go take a piss.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
Right.
Right back.
He's gonna go drain the main vein, guys. I really, really enjoy Jeffrey Donovan as an actor. You know, even when he played like an absolute asshole in Hitch, he still nailed the part. I watched him when he did Burn Notice for the 7 seasons that he did that. Shut Eye was really great, even though it got 2 or 3 seasons. But he was actually supposed to play the lead character in RIPD 2. Excuse me. So for those that don't know, RIPD, it was a Dark Horse comic. If you die and you get placed on this RIPD team, you go ahead and just hunt down people whose souls don't belong on Earth. And so I thought they did with a really good job with casting Jeffrey Donovan as a lawman, who gets murdered by these deados. And so he gets put on the RIPD team, and so he comes back to Earth, smooth cowboy hat, vest, boots, chaps, whole thing looks great. And they kind of partner him with her Sever's name is Jeanne, so I think she's supposed to be Joan of Arc. And so the thing is, he immediately tries to go talk to his daughter and say, "Hey, I'm still alive." And then, you know, she stops him, and then she tries to say, "Hey, I'm more battle tested than you. Even though you have heightened senses, I can still kick your ass." I'm like, okay, whatever. But at the end of it, when they have like a standoff, he's got his pistol trained on her and she's got her sword. She says, "You can't see her because you don't look like you." And she puts like the reflection of her sword in his face. And so he's looking at his own grave in the next scene, and then they put the mirror back on him. They're 2 black women, him, the lawman, and Jeanne of Arc. What makes this weirder is the fact that it's 1876 Utah. And I checked the census, one but maybe 500 or 600 black people in Utah at that particular time. So if you're going around trying to hunt down the undead, you want to kind of blend in. You don't want to be like the only 2 black people in this town that I've seen so far is all white, and be like, "Hey, we're going to be hunting down those deados." Because I'm telling you, if you're saying there's only 600 black people in the state of Utah at this point, everyone's going to be over like, "Hey, did you see those 2 negresses? Okay, why are they here?"
Who let that nigga on that nag?
Well, yeah. The weird thing is the fact that Jeffrey Donovan's character is a lawman. He's like, "I don't really have a problem. Is like, my best friend is black," and they actually show him. But it looks weird now because it's 3 black people like at a tombstone. There's ain't but 500 or 600 black people in the state. So I mean, talk about all the black people having to know each other. Like, this makes it way worse. The thing is that if you're supposed to be doing something that people on the mortal plane aren't supposed to understand, you're supposed to blend in with the major demographic of who actually lives there at that time frame.
Yeah.
And choosing 1876 Utah, or no, I think it was actually Montana. 1876 Montana is not the place where you want to put 2 black women as, "Oh, we're going to tell everyone we're bounty hunters." What?
I said, what? You ain't shooting no white folk around here?
Right, right. With no badges. You boss Reeves now. Really? Y'all the Lone Rangers, huh? Oh, okay. So yeah, the minute I saw them show the reflection, he was black. They're both black. I turned it off because it didn't make sense at me at all. So that's what we're saying is when you make the agenda overtake the movie, then I have a problem.
Yeah.
So that I've said my piece about RIPD2.
Because even in the not the poster, but you know how they on Netflix they got the picture, the icon for the movie.
Yeah.
There's no black women on that. I didn't even make
No.
it to that part in the movie before I fell asleep. So that was just fucking wild that you said that. It's like you
Yeah.
knew it was gonna be boring, but it's like, damn, bro, you fucked up that terribly.
Here, I'm gonna show y'all this because this is what he's talking about. I'll show y'all what he's talking about here.
Wow.
Because I can show you. So here, look at this. This is the cast, right?
Yeah.
So even yeah, I remember this guy. He's pretty cool. He's pretty funny. But yeah, here's the actual cast, right? Look how far I have to go over. I have to go to view all to find the black people.
Damn.
Right. So now I'm gonna go to IMDb.
Y'all seeing it here, folks.
These two. And now I have to go all the way down. Where? So here's the cast, right? Going. There's one there. Going. I think she's supposed to be in here, but I don't see where she's supposed to be yet. They're supposed to be going around killing deados, and they're both black. Like that's not gonna attract any attention whatsoever.
Okay. I fell asleep on the movie. Ego just cut that shit off. He couldn't handle it. I gotta watch it again. I gotta see what you talking about, bro. I gotta see that.
Go ahead. You better start drinking when you do it.
Oh shit, Deadpool, Domino. She was a early MCU agenda type character. She was fine though. Like I'll give him that, but damn, you could have put the white skin, the white paint on.
Yeah, bone. She's bone white. That's the point. She's not white. Like she's literally bone white.
Yeah, same with Starfire. Like I personally don't think that person is attractive. My opinion does not mean whether or not that person can perform their job.
I saw her in Greenleaf. She looks better with a perm or with just the natural flat iron with extensions. She looks pretty good. It's the fact that curls with her hairline and curls, it doesn't work. So like if she had like the swoop that goes down, she looks pretty attractive. So I don't know if you've ever seen Greenleaf, but if you watch Greenleaf in the first season, she's in there. She looks completely different.
She didn't have orange skin. Like Domino didn't have white skin.
Right.
But this coming from Pops, now this is like a kind of a while ago, but Johnny Depp should have partnered with Daily Wire to make Blackbeard or another pirate film with Gina Carano. And I agree, but I don't. I do think a different pirate film, it'll be so funny to see Johnny Depp in a different pirate movie that's not Pirates of the Caribbean. And he go and make not necessarily Daily Wire money, but his own self money, like how Nicolas Cage does like a lot of I guess B movies now, or these actors coming out with their own studios or whatnot. That would have been a power move for him. But so with that, I definitely don't think he should be doing anything for Disney, because I could have swore I recall him saying he wasn't going to go back to Disney because they snatched his I think his job from him. Like, you can't work with us no more. But that just shows me like Johnny Depp, I'm not gonna say he can be bought, but if there's enough money, you can get his ear, despite him saying something previously. And that's just a mentality I don't think. We need more people to say, fuck this movie, fuck this agenda. I'm not working on it. I'm not gonna have any part of this.
I don't know, man. That's it's a hard ask for people that were the artists in high school.
I don't care that it's a hard ask, because sacrifices have to be made in life. And if you've been an actor, you got some fucking money to sit on and figure some shit out and not just be taking jobs because they offering me money.
It doesn't take away the psychology of the person that chooses to be a professional liar. You see what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you. But people have. Yeah,
they have. But the thing is, we don't know who's who. And the fact that if you're
that's what I'm saying. From what I'm seeing from him, I don't like how he's handling it. I'm not in his shoes, But this mentality that he has, we won't. This is why change is not happening faster at a faster rate, because so many people, so many pretenders have this mentality of, well, it's just my job. If you give me enough money, I will do my job.
I don't think it was about that. I think it's about I want the adoration for being on the stage. And if I can't find a stage big enough, I don't think I'm going to get the adoration that I feel that I should deserve. So I have to go back out there because I need that adoration because it's intoxicating. I think it's intoxicating.
Sacrifice.
I don't know,
It
man.
goes back to sacrifice. I feel you. Everybody ain't built for it, but I'm just saying that mentality is why this machine will still continue to run.
That's
That's all.
possible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's possible. I'm just saying, it takes a while before you wind up getting to the point where you are as much as I can't stand his damn plays. What's his name? Medea.
Tyler
Yeah,
Perry.
yeah. I don't like his plays. I don't like the way that he portrays, black culture to an extent. But I can't
Yeah,
I can't go against his success. He built something that is independently his. So
yeah.
it is possible. It just takes a very, very strong mind to do it, and someone that doesn't do it necessarily for the adoration. I don't think a lot of people are built like that.
Not to get too much into Tyler Perry, but no, I don't agree with his shit. Like, yeah, he made money, but he made it pimping black people,
He did.
or not say MCU, but strong woman. Like, yeah, he been pushing that shit to us.
Yeah.
Let me just address the chat, and then I don't know. We'll go from there. Haven't talked to y'all in a while. And even Black Panther got knocked out by Thanos. I don't even remember that. I'm assuming you're talking about Infinity War, but
Yeah.
I feel you. I kind of did. I kind of did think about that. It crossed my mind. I made some comparison. It's not coming to me now, and I don't want to just talk and just hope it comes out because I'll probably sound retarded. But anyway, Black Widow jumped off the ledge in Endgame, so she didn't have to be a part of the girl power scene. Bro, okay, that was a thought I had. Look, Copa Katani, I be going off. I be going off on these folks to my wife, so she just be catching it. Like I come out with a fucking MCU rant out of nowhere, and she the only bystander. But I was saying, like, that scene right there, I guess I was comparing it to T'Challa. I'm like, even the female character that we've been fighting for to have her own movie, like when she died, because Iron Man sacrificed himself. Shit, after I thought about it, even Groot sacrificed himself and had a, a heroic outing. But when Black Widow sacrificed herself, like seeing her and Clint fight to sacrifice their soul, I'm like, that's some hero shit. Floral said it earlier, like doing what need to be done despite like circumstances. We saw that from Black Widow, and I feel like that character was done dirty, but that was a hero ass moment. And you don't get that shit from Black Panther. He just, oh, I caught the I caught the something. I got it. And then he out of here.
Caught the
So
Wakanda variant.
yeah. What kind of variant? But yeah, just I guess like that, making those comparisons of how characters are being handled. You just see all the disingenuousness of a lot of these moves. He was talking to Pops, so it would have been helpful move. Obi-Wan literally ran from Vader at one point. Yeah, so that's what I mean, Pops. Stuff like that. Whereas what's the girl Reva? She was like in it. She was aggressive. She got down on the floor and some fake capoeira at one time. She just did some dumb shit, but she was focused on the fight, whereas the man was running. He was like, "Oh no, this man is he's too awesome. He's too powerful." RIPD was awesome. Yeah, RIPD. I enjoyed the movie. Just like Hail the Lord. I can't remember too much shit about it, but I remember it being entertaining. And it's like, I think it's one of those movies where, okay, the first one was just like, yeah, it's entertaining. It was there. If you come out with a sequel, like an actual franchise that did good, then it'll be more memorable in people's minds. But was Ryan Reynolds in RIPD? Am I remembering that correctly?
He was, yeah.
Okay, so he's not in this one.
No.
Now, every RIPD does not have to have Ryan Reynolds, and I think it was the dude from who played Ego, the Planet Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. A famous fucking actor. I can't think of his name, but
It's Goldie Hawn's like longtime partner, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. So you had two big names in that movie, but in this sequel, they're not. Was it a money issue? Was it I don't want no part of that story issue? You don't know. If it was a
it was Jeff Bridges, bro. When it wasn't Kurt Russell, it was Jeff Bridges.
I gotta look that shit up now.
Jeff Bridges. You remember if you see him. Yes, Jeff Bridges.
RIPD. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges.
See, that's some of my racism showing. I just mixed these two white men up just because they got long, beautiful hair and great beards. Anyway, two dudes that we've seen before, and they can I guess carry a movie. They can play those roles, but they're not here for this shit.
Right.
And I need more actors and directors just you know what? Nah, I don't want no part of that garbage. And you'll start to see shit fall. The movie with Ryan Reynolds was good. Yeah. Domino was funny. Yeah, it was enjoyable. Like I said, she was hot. If you do a race swap, see, it's different with Domino because she's white. It's not a race.
Bone white. Yep.
Yeah, it's not a race thing. But so if you if you would have easily put the white shit on her face, some people would have had an issue, but comic fans would have been defending her no, that's a fucking character. She's supposed to have that white face on. But I guess with the was it Michael Clark Duncan in Daredevil being Kingpin, it's like when you do race swaps and you don't highlight that, you don't, hey, we casted this character to play this. If you just do it and just all smooth with it and just don't say nothing, then I'd be like, oh, okay, that character, that person.
Michael Clark Duncan made sense because he was supposed to be as imposing as the Kingpin from the cartoon. So it didn't necessarily matter about the race. It was who's going to be that physically imposing. And Vincent D'Onofrio was still on Law and Order. I guess I forget which version of it is. It's Criminal Intent, I think. So, and he wasn't that big of a name to be the Kingpin that we saw on Netflix. So it made sense that they got the biggest guy out there who people knew could play the Kingpin. You're like, no, that makes sense. He just wears white and has the cane. I can see that. It wasn't necessarily smooth. It was just like, hey, this is a necessity for the character that we're building up. It just so happened that he was imposing enough to be like, well, okay, I'm not gonna knock this change at all.
Yeah, man, they can get away with the race swaps. I can't speak for everybody, but I won't bitch every time it happens if it seems like it's done genuinely. If it legitimately is the best actor for the role. But when they do shit like they've been doing recently, then I'm just gonna look at you funny. Fucking Anthony Mackie auditioned to be the Mandarin. All right, now I'm finna kind of go into something else, but if y'all seen me on Twitter, y'all saw I posted Cornrollis and House of the Dragon. And I was like, instead of trying to force this black skinned person into this story that doesn't have it, he could have been having his talents over here in the fucking Wakanda series and being introduced as Brother Voodoo, a character that looks like him, can expand on the Black Panther lore, the character that we already have. And then by the time the movie comes out, you already got that character set up. Oh shit, T'Challa got sick. Let me go meditate. Let me go talk to Bass. Let me go ask the gods to save this man. Just something. That's a story just off the top of my head, but stop. Folks need to have more respect for themselves. And that goes to this point Mr. Tickle Trunk was saying, taking a handful of actors out of the pool of potential people won't do anything. 5% sacrifice themselves. 95% will carry on. I definitely agree. But I think even if they're not sacrificing themselves for a greater cause, they can still just be like, all right, I'm out. And Hollywood or mainstream is not quick to grab some up and comers like nobodies. Not for what I'm saying. So they're going to be like, or like with Kyrie Irving and his whole thing. It's like, hold your nuts, stand for something. If you're not doing it for everybody, do it for yourself at least, and maybe others will follow suit. Just like this culture where we're fighting with geeks and gamers, nerd rot. Eric July. These people didn't say, hey, bro, I'm about to go in. I'm about to be the force of the people, and I'm about to speak out against all this nonsense. They were just like, hey, bro, I'm not feeling this shit. Let me say something. It just starts with that. Supposedly Rosa Parks, her feet just hurt. And she just said, I'm just not gonna move. And it starts this whole other thing that's so much more important.
Okay.
Also, actors don't make a lot of money unless they're in the top
Right.
10%. That's fine. They make money though. It's called hustle. You can make some money and use that to funnel or fuel some other project or some other thing that you can get going. Like what's dude name? Keanu Reeves. Yeah, he might be a top actor, but he was like, look, I'm finna make me a comic book. Rick Ross said, yeah, I rap, but I'm finna go buy me some chicken joints. Black folk love chicken. Like, just come on, man. Make moves for yourselves, people, instead of just being a toy for others to use to play with. It's gonna be up to the people like us, not already famous individuals. Agreed. We'll be in the Renaissance. We're gonna come up. It would have been better. And with that, hell the Lord, that's funny because again, as a black person, as I'm fighting for all this shit, saying we need to respect ourselves, don't be used, and all that type of stuff, is you got so many people that's coming at me like I'm the bad person. I said this early in the stream, and it's just like, damn, when I do put a book out, kind of like how Ripper got a file or know all these people that just tried to shit on him or hate on him. It's like I want to do the same thing because I don't want fans that are so that are cool with my property being handled a way that I didn't intend for it. I don't want fickle fans like that just see, well, it's a movie, it's legit, it's made by people who know about it, so they excuse every change that's being made, thinking it's in the best hands, or people that actually care about or respect the property. So that's just something to think about. Just what's that? Fair weather fans, I guess, or whatever. Fair weather people, but that's what I mean. Y'all get what I'm saying. Kurt Russell, yeah, that's what we thought it was. Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent in the first Batman movie. Hmm. And Tommy Lee Jones sucked as Two-Face. I like Tommy Lee
Weird.
Jones, though. Can you imagine a Billy D. Williams Two-Face?
He been too
I'm not,
smooth, man.
yeah, I'm not attached to Billy D, but hey, Billy D as a outlaw type character out there shooting folk. Harder They Fall. I tried to get into it. It tried.
Terrible.
The Last Jedi was the worst part of Batman Forever. Hold on, TLJ.
Tommy
What
Lee
is that?
Jones.
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones was the worst part of Batman Forever. I hated the Riddler story, but not Jim Carrey. I can
Hmm.
see that because I do remember liking Jim Carrey's Riddler, and it's probably just because I saw Jim Carrey antics. Alicia Silverstone was the best thing about that movie. Schumacher screwed the pooch.
He kind of did.
Hell no, LOL. Yeah, and ego done got on my ass about this. I'll just be saying something. I'll just be talking. I don't even remember what the hell I just said. Because hell Lord just said hell no.
Oh, because you don't know, you didn't remember about the Billy D. Williams being the first, being Harvey Dent Batman, man.
Ah, okay.
All right. So anyway, I guess that brings us to our second topic, sir. Bringing that up.
Is it our second topic?
Yeah, we're getting.
Heroes, no capes.
All right.
Hey, let's get into it, people.
All right. So we got this here, and so we doing the actual poll of the day, or we go? Actually, no. We're switching gears into this. Actually, kind of led off from a conversation that we had in the stream with Mr. Douglas, and so he was telling us about when I don't remember if he said it was an action figure or what, but you had like a little dragon toy or action figure, and your mom saw it, and she was like, "Hey, get that shit out the house." And so you had to throw out all your toys. And I told him that, hey, same thing happened for me when I was like 7 or 8. My mom saw me watching the second episode of the Power Rangers with the pig with the little Trojan horse helmet that was eating all the stuff. She's like, oh, that's demonic. Cut that off. And these action figures, throw them out. So this back here is my therapy. All right. Like Kanye West, I'm fighting for my inner child's custody right now with all these action figures. So it kind of bled into what we were talking about was what was something or something that you weren't allowed to watch or allowed to have when you were younger. So again, for me, it was the fact that I couldn't really have action figures after I was like 11, 11 or maybe 10. I couldn't really have action figures. And I never got to see the Ninja Turtles. I never saw the Power Rangers movie. Smurfs were off limits. What else? Blade. No, it's not funny, man. It's not funny.
It's
I
not
remember
fun. I'm sorry.
specifically when I specifically remember when Blade came out, like in 1995, 96, around that time frame, and every kid's telling me about it. And only thing I could do was watch the Christian version of secular heroes. So I'm like, well, they're like, hey man, have you heard Blade? Have you heard of Blade? Bro, did you see his sword? And I'm like, well, you know what is cool? Bible man, because he uses the sword of the spirit. So let's see Blade try to beat that. Huh? Okay. So, but yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk. So this is what happened. Smurfs was because my mom was watching the intro and she saw a homie with the cauldron stirring it up, and she saw the castle and saw the light. She said, cut that off." I'm like, "Mom!" Like pops was like, "Hey, do what your mama said on that one." So I'm like, "Can't watch these no Smurfs no more." So yeah, that's pretty much what happened with me. So Abomination, what was something that was like that with your childhood, if it was like that at all?
You should have said, "Mama, that ain't no cauldron. That's a kettle."
Okay. And she'd be like, "I got your kettle," and it'd been a belt.
Yeah. Nah, bro. I told you I didn't. I was blessed. I didn't have those issues. My dad was a geek. He was a gamer. He was into all the shit that I'm into now. So, he would. It was beautiful. I think my mom for a while, like she told me I couldn't watch Harry Potter. She was like, "That's devil worship." Now I remember that vividly. My teacher, this is like elementary school, 5th grade, and my teacher tried to watch, like, we had Harry Potter for like a pizza party or something like we was having, and her and a few other parents like raised hell. Now they was cool with my teacher. Everybody was kind of familiar, like, they was involved in their kids' academic life, school life, so it wasn't a big fuss. And they were just like, "Hey, no, Miss Crawford, our kids ain't watching this." So I had to be in like this other group. I think we sat outside and we had to sit outside. Like, we were still eating pizza and drinking shit, but these kids was in there watching Harry Potter. And I'm just hearing like my mama say, like, "No, you can't watch that. That's devil worship. That's devil worship." Now, I'm not a Harry Potter fan today. And I don't even think it had nothing to do with that, because it just don't interest me. But that's the only memory that I have where my mom was like, "I can't be involved with that." But like I said, my dad, he was he playing Final Fantasy, so I'm watching this demonic angel Sephiroth character. I'm watching them fight these demons and monsters. Grand Theft Auto wasn't an issue. I remember my mama just saying, because I think it was on the news, like some kids was, I don't think they were shooting at anybody on the freeway, the highway. They was like throwing rocks or something. And I think you probably remember that, when this whole like don't let your kids play GTA thing, like it makes them all aggressive. Like, so I did live through that, but because my dad had these games, she was just like, I can't keep it away from him. But my mama wouldn't let me listen to rap. That's what it was. I couldn't listen to rap music until like middle school. But
go ahead.
But my cousins would come over and they was always watching it, listening. She'll try to tell them take it off, but again, this was just like all of the outside forces was just taking over. To my mom was just like, forget it. Just
your mom just gave up on it, huh? It's like, let the devil in.
just let it happen. Just let it happen. And so yeah, my mama gave up. That was the only issue. But yeah, like superheroes, my dad was watching that. He was taking us to see the movies. We playing the games with them. I did tell you my story of the only kind of like actual, besides the Harry Potter thing, the only actual conflict that I had between my belief and the entertainment was when my mom told me, because I could pray well. And she was like, you're a powerful prayer, whatever you pray for. Like, she was like, God is all powerful. He'll do it. Basically, you telling the kid this, then you're basically saying this man in the sky will grant your wishes if you ask hard enough. Okay, well, Digimon was my shit and Pokemon was my shit. So my struggle was, okay, what am I going to use this ultimate prayer on? What am I going to ask? So I remember for a long time just thinking, what are the pros and cons of if I was a Digimon tamer or if I was a Pokemon master? And eventually I got to, I want to say Digimon. I prefer Digimon over Pokemon, but it was just like constantly me praying, come on, Lord, please make this real. I promise you I won't do bad with my monsters. I'll be good. I'll protect people. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't, my folks deprived me of animals as well. Like I train dogs now. I love my dogs. I'm all about that shit. But I couldn't have a dog growing up, and it was weird because like every time I see a dog, I'm like, I know what you're thinking. I want to talk to you. I want to communicate with you. But I was like, shit, I can kill two birds with one stone. I can have my fantasy adventure and be all super important, and I can have an animal companion in the form of a Digimon. So I prayed hard. But eventually, I just got to the point to where I was like, you know what? God probably ain't answering my prayer because I might be good with my Digimon, but there's gonna be a whole bunch of assholes out here with they monsters. I see the villain origin story. Yeah, bro. Like I've been pissed. I'm just thinking like dudes in the hood got a bunch of Houndowers, Houndooms, Mightyenas. We dog fighting in the streets with a Pokemon. Just a bunch of wild stuff. Like every movie was some dude. Like I'm finna capture this legendary, and I'm about to take over the world. I'm about to invoke my will on the rest of the world. And I was like, I'm sorry, Lord, for even trying to take part in the destruction of what you created.
Jesus was leaving your prayer emails on red, bro.
Bro, yeah, he was like, this dude again. So that was my only like real interaction with my religion and how I was raised in entertainment. But besides that, all of the rest of the stuff, nah, it was free game. Like I said, my dad, I think the first anime movie I watched was Ninja Scroll. So
Right,
yeah, my dad was like, we ain't saving this boy. Let him go watch that. Let him enjoy things.
I mean, it kind of winds up being to the point where, like, that's why I think horror is one of my supernatural horror is kind of my favorite genre of movie to watch. Because if you're saying that you can't watch this because of this reason, or you can't watch that because of this reason, it's like, well, you aren't going to show me this in the scenes, especially in The Conjuring, where the good overcomes evil. I think that when you've got situations like The Conjuring where you have a good story and there's supernatural possession, it's like, well, hey, there's a way to get it out. And you're telling me, hey, it's supposed to be with Christianity, it's supposed to say, hey, that fights back the demons, but you're not going to show me things where it actually does that, which I'm telling you this, my parents took me to like exorcisms. That shit will fuck you up.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't like an action. It was like you in church and they're like, hey, if you need prayer because you got something wrong with you, come forward. And then I gotta stay after that, and I gotta see someone have the shakes and shit.
Okay.
7. And you like, the fuck is this? Like, I've heard an exorcism over the radio.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I can't watch Ninja Turtles, but I gotta hear this man go into the pit of hell on radio? It's 12:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Who said this is appropriate for me right now?
Look, I feel you. I'm thinking that you're like actually, because did you tell me your dad was like a pastor?
No.
Okay, so I'm thinking your dad is a pastor. He taking you in there to where he go into the room and a person strapped to the bed.
No, not at all.
Okay,
it's our first day here.
Okay.
You just introduced me set up. It's like, what are we doing? It's 2:30. I want ice cream right now. I don't need all this in my life. Yeah, so yeah, it's a lot that goes on when you watch the stuff. So I still kind of watch it now, and it's like I understand both versions of it. You've seen what is obviously schizophrenia, but you've also seen what you think might be possession. And sometimes the line between those can often get blurred. And that interests me to the point where me and Shiro watch a lot of supernatural horror because it has those elements. So yes, and you're right, Golden Good Brother. I don't know these people. And what messed me up is like, because of in the part of Illinois where we lived at the time, we were usually the only Black family that was there. And Mama Ego was like, we need to make sure we sit up in the front. And I'm be like, but if we sit in the front, you can't leave early. Why are we doing this?
People
So
gonna be
I'm like,
watching you when you try to leave early.
bro. So I'm like, who needs prayer? I like, if you don't put your hand down right now, none of y'all need prayer. All right, don't make this longer than it needs to be, and don't let it be revival because there's no time limit on revival. That's what
Yeah,
baseball
bro.
and church revivals have in common. No time limits. Okay, no
Yeah,
time limits whatsoever.
my mama had me in church. We had to go to 3 services in a day. One in the morning, one in the evening, one at night, or afternoon and night. And I'm just like, bro, look, man, that shit turns people on. I understand the value in it. I appreciate my foundation, but these people just don't be realizing the way they go about things, it can just turn people off. And that's not their goal, but you're gonna have to approach it differently. Parents, my folks watch the show sometimes, so they probably hear us, but I ain't preaching to them. I didn't have my issues, and they know I'm gonna say what I want. But now Pops made this point. Motley Crue cassette tape. I still got one that was busted at school. Big Trouble from Pops' mom. Now, I didn't listen to Motley Crue, but it reminded me of, I think I heard one of their songs or their name on those now that's what I call music, those little infomercials. Like those used to come on at night, right? But those were the safe ones. If you stayed up long enough, then you'll get them girls going
Ooh,
wild.
BET Uncut.
The BT uncut and the girls going wild, and they had the tees out, but they had the little stars over it,
Just
or they
make
had
sure
the.
you just make sure you turn it off by 3 o'clock, because then Lift Every Voice come on and you get really convicted.
Oh, bro, I don't remember that, bro. I remember them titties, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to see them nipples." And then it used to be like, "Must be 18 years or older to call order." And I was like, "Bro, I can't wait till I'm 18. I'm gonna order so many girls going wild videos." I'm a kid thinking this, right? And and then as we're getting to 18, you're a little bit older than me, and that shit is so archaic. That shit is so old. Like we had the free access. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just was telling me they gonna send me the Pokemon nip slip. So I'm like, it just became so accessible at 18. I was like, bro, you really be a child just like using all your time and energy wanting something. And by the time you get old, it's like, what the fuck was I on? What was I
Oh
thinking?
my god! I will say this: the only reason I actually got introduced to rap was from my grandmother.
Okay.
Like, bro, it was like 1992, and I'm like, wow, this song that's playing the saxophone, I like it. I don't know what it is, but so you start doing your head, and then your mom's like, because we went to go visit my grandma. That's when I heard the song. So I was like, I don't know, but when I hear the saxophone, I like it. And so I go back home. My mom's like, what were you bopping your head to? I'm like, that's a song. She says, how's it go? I'm like, I don't know. He says something about zum 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 and the bomb bomb, and then they say something about shaking a rump. What's a rump?
That remind me of Dave Chappelle. I forgot what skit it was. People like, I just want to zoom, zoom, zoom in your boom boom. He was a grown man. He was like crying or something, but
Bro, I found rap. I found rap CDs in my grandmother's basement, and that's how I started listening to rap. But at least the one she had was like late '80s, early '90s. So it's got Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff. There's Vanilla Ice on there. It was like the rap version of now. That's what I call hip hop. It was
yeah,
a 2 disc set, but I
yep.
at least got the classics in me before I listened to Ludacris.
The
So,
mixtapes before we started making our own with the lime wire and all that.
exactly.
But look, that remind me of, bro, my pops put me on Eminem and like early Eminem. A lot of people like current day give Eminem shit, but back in the day when he could rap and tell you a fucking story about him killing his wife or something, that was Eminem. And I was a kid listening to this stuff, bro, and I was like, hey, this man spitting. Eminem and Public Enemy. So Flavor Flav. So I knew about Flavor Flav before he was on Flavor Love with the big ass clock and all the females. And I'm just so yeah, bro. My dad, he gave me an appreciated start in the world, in the culture world.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
Eminem. I'm young as hell listening to Eminem, bro. That was crazy. All right, let me get to these comments and I don't know. We'll figure out what the next section was. You was talking about that Winnie the Pooh thing. We want to talk
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. Yeah, it's honestly because that actually was a Disney property, but it's public domain now, actually.
Okay.
So I will go ahead. If you address the chat, go ahead. I gotta step out for 1 second. Go ahead and address the chat real quick, and I'll bring it up.
Okay,
All right.
okay. So yeah, we were trying to talk about that because it kind of bleeds into, or it's similar to the what you could and could not indulge in as a kid, and to see the name Winnie the Pooh. It's like, yeah, it probably was safe at one point, but now that name is about to mean something different. So, parents probably don't want their kids watching that new version of Winnie the Pooh. I don't care about the movie. I'm not into horror like that, but also the idea of like with the public domain and how these so-called Disney properties are like kind of out there for people to just make what they want. I want to take advantage of that. Me and others, I want to take advantage of that. Now, I did say people that I was gonna come out with my race swap Tarzan story. I was gonna be Black Tarzan. I was gonna be King of the Apes. I don't give a fuck how racist it is. I like the Beast Man type character. I like the man who it is our God-given right, our God-given job. It is our position to be stewards of this earth. And you give me a story of this man who does that. I'm gonna take care of these animals. I'm gonna take care of this land. All of that, beautiful to me. That's beautiful to me. And for a man to face a big ass ape, it was, I'm like, I'm about to handle you, son. That's beautiful. But yeah, let me get to these comments. Let me get to these comments, folks. Remember Jack Thompson, a video game lawyer who tried to make his career by targeting GTA? Bro, I don't know. I was super young during that time, but I know my mom was being fed a lot of that. Gen X. Am I a Gen X? Or who is
you're millennial.
I'm a millennial.
Close to Zennial at this point.
Nah, I'm a millennial. Stop it.
What year?
93. I was right before the retardation set in.
Ooh, you might be on the cusp of Zennial, man.
Look, before you tell me wrong, let me keep going. Back when Notre Dame had tons of satanic religious imagery. That's a dark ass kids movie. Yeah, that was a beautiful ass movie. And bro, that goes back to that argument of Bob Chapek saying adults don't watch animation. Like our grown asses are thinking about great animation that we seen back in the day. And like we were saying, like with the X-Men or like the superhero shows like Justice League, all of the adult themes that were in there that we get to revisit as adults. And with the Hunchback and Judge Frollo and that song, Clarence, me and you were talking about this at one point. This was a man who was in an esteemed religious position. All right. And he's talking about the love of this beautiful brown woman and how he's just so conflicted. But then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. She evil. Whatever I do to her, even if it's sinful, it's okay because it's against that dirty slut. I'm justified. And like, bro, dudes really think like that in the church.
Come get this holy water. I got that.
Yeah. So like, yeah, bro, Disney, come on. Disney used to be they used to stand for something. They weren't afraid to take risk. Anita Sarkeesian tried the same thing. Oh, you talking to Nosferatu? My family was into all the fantasy and sci-fi stuff, so I never had that issue. I feel you. Like I said, my dad was there, so he kept my mama off my ass a lot. LOL Tickle, she tried to be a consultant on Cyberpunk. That's the best thing I heard. Okay, y'all talking about her. Abomination Mon, Digivolve 2. Bro, I already got my fan fiction where I'm going to give it to you. Y'all know I'm mixing. I'm figuring it out. But Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, there's a human and he's dropped into the Pokemon world. Apparently, humans aren't there. So yeah, my shit, I think I'm going to be a fucking human and I'm going to be dropped into the digital world. And it's going to be season 3 where the kids turn into the Digimon, but I'm going to infuse other elements for other seasons into it. That's my fan fiction. That's one of the things I'm talking about on Twitter. Let me know if you want in on that or some involvement. And we ain't trying to make no money. We ain't trying to get sued by nobody. I just want to tell a good fucking story. People used to use Jack Thompson as a bullet point when debating Anita followers. All right, man, y'all talking about that? AJ, we got to talk sometime about your other side. Let's do it, hell the Lord. Oh, yeah, know how I live that. This is hysterical exorcist face swap. Tickle. All right, y'all still going in about that. I like that. You're having a conversation. Motley Crue rules. Mick Mars has such a great sound. They weren't going to advertise Burning Hell by Judas Priest even at 3 a.m. on cable. LOL, AJ, I used to stay up late just to see the infomercials on Comedy Central. Yeah, bro, that was a good time when you had that channel with the little fucking static. You see the little nipple, see the little scene. Anyway, let me not go into all of that, y'all. I'm a fool. I'm gonna piss on you. Pee on you, yes, sir. Early Eminem was a force of nature. Nobody wanted to battle him, man. That man could spit. Eminem is a normie now, just like Marilyn Manson. It's sad. It's sad, ain't it, Mr. Tickle Trunk? Busta Rhymes, yep. Busta Rhymes was a beast, bro. Flav banged Bridget Nelson on the show, who was married to Stallone back in the day. Oh, look at all that tea. All that tea. Eminem, please. Come on, John. I don't even want to read the rest of your comment, bro, but it's up there. My first intro to hip hop was 2 Live Crew at 12 years old. I was corrupted. All right, man. All right. I got really into Rakim. Talking about them rappers. Rakim. Okay, Rakim, whatever. I remember watching BET waiting for a Too Short video to come on and watch Blurry Boobs. Yeah, bro. We were little nasty boys, man. Itching for it. Bone Thugs was great too. Yep. And Flavor Flav was one of the ugliest men in music. He got that. Hey, money will make you do some things. Apparently. For women. That's what I'm saying. Like it made me think about the Johnny Bravo earlier when somebody was saying like he had no game. But that man looked nice. He had a nice body. Off camera, Johnny Bravo was getting something. He was getting something. Some of them women was like, fuck it.
I don't need to jump the line, but I need y'all to show you something. Look, check this out, all right?
What's up? What?
Okay, check this out, right? All right, he can define.
He sent me that. I didn't.
No, I got it right here. I got it right here. I don't know who made this, but this is hilarious. I think Pops made this, but this shit's funny. Check this out. So I can turn the volume on.
Okay.
Fuck this.
Exactly. Exactly, bro. Bro, exactly.
That's hilarious.
God gonna have to handle that one. I ain't got the power, bro.
Thank you, Pop. That's hilarious. Oh man.
T'Challa had a gorilla look. His army whoops like apes, and it's not racist. It's so badass. I don't exactly get what you're saying. If you're talking about M'Baku and his gorilla, is that what you're saying? Like, yeah, I did like that. It's just you see how racist it is now. In the context of everything else that happened, but the idea of it, they were so afraid of putting them in the ape costume because they didn't want to be racist. But you can have them make the fucking sounds and like still play the character. Like, bro, just go all in. Fuck it, own it. You can do Black Tarzan, right? Yeah, I've thought on that story and it's turned into something else that makes sense. But bro, I want people to know I'm influenced by these great things that came before. And this is what they could have been, or like this is the direction we could have been moving. If you wasn't so sensitive of people and all that type of shit. So yeah, I'm gonna have we got white Tarzan, we got Indian Mowgli, and we're gonna have black, whatever my character name is. That story coming out, people. 93 is millennial. Yeah, I'm a millennial. Don't make me a piece of shit, ego. Clarence P90, fire. LOL, ego with one eye outran AJ. M'Baku, sorry, I never watched the Black Panther movies. Anyway, you can do a Black Tarzan, fine. Yeah, folks scared, man. Fuck out of here. You are welcome for that. Pops, that shit was so funny. You got that? You can bring that up again. That might be one of the clips, bro. Pop, thank you.
That's hilarious.
You just blessed the channel.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how to do the stuff where you got the face with the moving over a character.
We'll have to ask him how to do that because that was hilarious. Whatever software you got, please let us know because that was fun.
Yeah, because I wanted to do that for my last video I put out with my face on Dr. Ian Malcolm's head doing it. All right, bro, you take it forever. You probably to bring up the other
article. I already got it. It's sitting here. I was waiting for you. So
Okay.
so one of the other ones we got, because we want to talk about it because it's kind of what you can do when something is left the private domain. And so check this out. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey reveals Christopher Robin in 4 new images. So I remember seeing this shit months ago and I thought it was a joke. So I was on Instagram saying that there's this evil version of Winnie the Pooh. So check this out, right? Pooh still remembers his best friend, even as he's trying to kill him. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey became a viral sensation due to its turning Pooh and Piglet into sadistic killing machines. Now IGN can reveal 4 exclusive new images from the upcoming horror film that can provide some more insight into how the 2 childhood icons got to this point. The 4 images can be viewed in the slideshow below, revealing a young Christopher Robin, as well as several shots of Pooh, including one of him against a fiery backdrop clutching a knife. The images come from Blood and Honey's latest shoots, which director Rise Frick Waterfield feels included some of the movie's best footage to date. So we got Pooh right here. Then we got little Christopher Robin, and he's staying out here. I think that I don't know if it's Piglet or if he's holding a body there. And then here he is with the knife. All right. So the stills reveal that while Pooh is now a bloodthirsty killer, the silly old bear still remembers his days with Christopher Robin. The story is sort of a twisted version of Toy Story 3, with Pooh and Piglet going feral in the 100-acre wood after Christopher Robin goes to college. The image in the slideshow above shows that Pooh still flashes back to his days with his old friend. First revealed back in May, Winnie the Pooh, Bloody and Honey grabbed attention for being a horrific adaptation of the classic children's book, which had recently entered the public domain. That's the important part. Frank Waterfield has since said that he is already planning a sequel to Blood and Honey, as well as a horror version of Peter Pan titled Neverland Nightmare. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is currently slated to release into theaters in the US, UK, Canada, and Mexico, courtesy of Fathom Events. It'll be out February 15th. All right. So, not gonna lie, I am very excited about this version of it, mainly because Winnie the Pooh was a Disney property, but it's since been in the public domain. So now you can do anything you want with it. And so as much as I don't like people trying to trample on childhood, I am more excited for the Neverland Nightmare because, from what I understand, Peter Pan wasn't all that nice because he had his teeth were messed up, and there are actually bodies of children in Neverland in certain parts because Peter Pan's like, hey, you don't want to be a kid anymore. Well, then off you go. And from knowing that Pan, it might be from the
you trying to grow up on me, son?
Right. I got you.
You want responsibilities, bro?
Give my fairy dust back. Tink, drop his ass.
Dust him. God damn.
Yeah. So I think it's a funny version because I always had problems with Winnie the Pooh because I was like, hey, look, who else hangs around little boy saying Christopher Robin wears a red tight t-shirt with no pants and has his hands in honey? Okay.
I'm gonna defend it. I liked Winnie the Pooh.
It's like being out in the forest, okay?
A kid in the forest, out in his backyard, they got a little bit of land. He take his toys out there. They talking to him. That's all he had. Hey, bro, that was me. My toys came to life, and they talked to me. When I tell you, my folks ain't let me have a fucking dog. His name was Chomp. It was the stuffed animal from 101 Dalmatians, 102 Dalmatians, and I had the stuffed animal. And I put bruh on a leash. I put a food bowl, a water bowl in front of him. Bro, that's my dog. So yeah, a kid's imagination is powerful. But with that, the idea of it is dope. If this serial killer family or group, and they had these with the saw faces, you know how they had the pigs, the different animals, but you had some dude that dressed up like Pooh. He had the little shirt, the big retarded Leatherface type character, or Jason. You had some little tiny dude like Piglet, like a Chucky. I like to cut folks from the Achilles to the ankles and stuff. But just like that would be a cool idea. But then that made me think about, oh shit, well, what other horror adaptations can we get?
Yeah.
And if y'all know Oliver and Company, the movie with I'll bring it up if y'all want to know what that look like. But the group of dogs, they were some strays, but you know, they had a Fagin, the homeless man who was their owner in a way, and then Oliver was a little cat that they brought into the group, and it was an adaptation of Oliver Twist, a bunch of thieves, and they brought this new kid into the lifestyle. But if you had that as a horror movie, and you know, you had Dodger, you had Rita, Einstein, like this fucking criminal organization that that does some fucked up shit, and they bring in this little kid called Oliver, and he the newest one. Like anime, I think dude name is is it Killua? He come from a family of assassins or something. Like, bro, you can do that with Oliver and Company. But yeah, the weirdo adaptations, yeah, that's it's fun to think about.
Well, yeah. Well, I think that Winnie the Pooh is going to be kind of weird. I do really like the version of Peter Pan, because there's a reason you kind of have to leave Neverland, because he'd be like, "What you mean? I said you never leaving this land."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm excited about, characters that are going to wind up hitting the public domain. And yeah, Mr. Tickle Trunk, you're right. I think Disney is terrified of Mickey, because I know that Steamboat Mickey is about to be public domain. So I don't know when the actual version that they have that's current now is going to hit the public domain too, which might be why they're trying to make it more of a lifestyle brand than depending so much on the shape of the mouse. You know what I mean?
And with that, it's the public domain stuff. That's not like a Sony having Spider-Man rights thing, right? Like if you don't do something, then it's just like anybody can get their hands on it, even if Disney is putting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's free for all. You can't copyright that.
Yeah. So I feel you, Mr. Tickle Trump, because and I've said this before, there's no reason that on Disney Plus we're not having a Disney House of Mouse, like hybrid live action animation show. Like Disney does not truly believe in Mickey Mouse. They're not creative. So you see them hijacking other shit or trying to revamp something, but to make something as Mickey Mouse, I think it does take work. It takes creativity, and they're not about that right now. And like you said, Ego is becoming more of a lifestyle brand. They're dropping I ain't gonna say they dropping the Mickey mascot with the circle and the two circles for the ears, but I remember Chapek said like we're dropping the Disney and going with capital D. That's the brand. That sounds like Discovery. Discovery Channel already did that with a D, or Discovery Plus. That's already a service. What the fuck? You can't even do that anyway.
Yep.
All right. I would rather go to Pete's Neverland than Michael Jackson. You got something to bring up, or am I just addressing the chat right now?
Well, first, just addressing the chat. That's pretty much all that I had on there.
Okay, and then we get into our next topic of the question, which I'll have to close that poll soon. But yeah. Hello, I'm not a fan of kid characters turning into horror characters. It's lazy and doesn't need to happen. Agreed. We just saying like the Ego saying he want to see the movie. I don't care to go watch anything, but just thinking of that idea, some of it could be kind of interesting. Public domain is free for anyone to read or use, but go see Razorfist video on it to see how it really doesn't help a property. I will, and I'm not a big fan of Razorfist's content, but apparently this dude is fighting hard in the culture war, so I will go educate myself. Jesus Juice must have been some strong shit. And your dogs are beautiful. Mine is chilling on my lap right now.
Think you know it's proud too.
Yeah, man, Ego got some wonderful dogs. We call because they all Ego is one of my clients. So I've told people that, and I love this man's dogs. My dogs love his dogs, so we just say those they cousins. Y'all cousins coming over today. You just have to be careful with likeness issue. Pooh's red shirt, for example. True, but it's weird. Why would someone take a kid character and make them a dark murder horror character? It seems kind of strange to me.
I think it's because if you read the originals, the original books are really dark. Like the Little Mermaid, in the real version, she does I don't know if it's Ursula or whatever name she goes by for the Dutch version, but she actually does agree to give up her mermaid legs and her voice to go after the prince. And the thing is that it doesn't work, and she reverts back to a mermaid on land, and she just dies. So I mean, the original versions are really dark, and then they kind of dress it up for kids in the cartoon. But the people that are reading it now that might have like some of that classical training that read the books are like, yo, this character is kind of dark, and they shouldn't be necessarily read through the lens of this is fun and cool, like, hey, this is kind of terrifying if you actually were a kid and had to be subjected to this. So that's why I say for me, Neverland would make the most sense, because they talk about, the dangers of not growing up is you don't take care of your health. Like Peter Pan's over like 150, maybe 200 years old, and his teeth are just like jagged and almost rotten. He takes takes the only girl that isn't Tiger Lily and brings her back to take care of the rest of the Lost Boys. And basically, he has Tink do all his bidding. And if you actually want to leave, you die. So, I mean, if you read the book in its original iteration, and then you see all these things that have happened, and you know some history about Pan possibly being the god of mischief and drunkenness, depending on which version you look at, you're like, well, hey, this kind of is a horror story that they're not telling. Plus, it's public domain, so you can kind of have a little bit more leeway with it. So I'm okay with that.
Hey, and that's funny because I was saying with the this hypothetical pirate story, if they were to change history of the tale, the story, whatever, I would be okay with it, depending on how it's executed. And maybe that's social engineering on my part, because Disney has been changing shit. And I just use Disney as an example of, well, you can change it and it can work. So maybe they got to me. maybe I saw Sex in the Clouds on Lion King, and I've been like, girls gonna wild forever. I need to see them titties, bro.
I just think that there was a time in which you could do this and it wasn't so overt or interested you enough to want to read the book or look up the history of it. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I see where, okay, that's not necessarily true, but I see where they might have had to change it. Like in the Count of Monte Cristo, like originally in the movie adaptation, what's her name? Edmond Dantes's wife wasn't supposed to live at the end. That was the original intention, but they're saying, well, hey, he's been through enough being at the Chateau d'If for 13 years. So he's finally got his wife back and he has his son Albert. Let's let him have a happy ending. And like, okay, I understand that. But if you read the book, you'll know that there are differences there. So I think you can take some light creative liberties and still make a good product, instead of what they've been doing, which is change the entire outcome of something and then calling it the original, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And hell, the Lord, I definitely get what you're saying about changing the kids' property. But then, yeah, like with the Disney example, it's like, well, you take adult shit and you make it childish. So it's okay in one direction, but anyway, I think it's all about execution.
Well,
Peter got that.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
House just jumped in the chat.
Hey.
Glad you're here, bro. Peter got that booty tooth breath. He needs to kidnap. House up in here though.
Oh man.
What was you about to say?
No, I mean, I would think that I think part of the issue is that we're the most selfish generation. I know that they would probably say Gen X maybe Gen X was the most selfish adults, but I think that with millennials, we're the most selfish generation of children to grow up. And so when we're making these things, like what Hail the Lord says, you're assuming that they're making these for kids. That's the problem. Is that for a lot of these, they aren't. A lot of them saying, fuck them kids. We're talking about the way I wanted my childhood to be, the way it should have been, a better version of a childhood, where my innocence is completely destroyed. The earlier, the better. The earlier you know that life sucks, people suck, life sucks, your job sucks, your relationship sucks. The earlier I can drum that into them, the better. Only problem is when you're looking at that, you're like, well, what you on? Xanax. I'm on that clonidiptocrononite, and I take 2 of these for my antipsychotics, and then I got this cannabis here. It's like, well, you aren't healthy, so you need to get healthy because you have things you have to address in your own childhood that you need to deal with as an adult. And while you're on that, you shouldn't be creating content for other people like you because kids are watching it. So while I agree that kids don't really have an outlet, kids haven't or aren't the focus of what's been made maybe like the last 10 to 15 years.
Oh yeah, agreed. Animation gets no love and these kids get no fucking respect. But it just remind me of Kids Next Door with the sticky beard. How he didn't take care of himself. He eating all this candy. He tried. No, he was actually trying to steal candy from the kids. So never mind. I was thinking he was trying to force the candy upon the kids, like fuck their teeth up and stuff. Maybe that did happen at some point, but the kids, them kids was wild. They was fighting back against all adult authority. I want more shit like that, bro. I need more stuff like that. Is coming. Like kids are being treated as like they're really dumb, and you just need to put something on the screen to entertain them for the moment, so the adults can get away with some shit. And I'm like, nah, bro. I'm trying to have kids having fun, thinking it's just cartoons, but they come back and watch this and they be like, oh, bro, you see that? That's it, wild, bro. I'm trying to do that because that's what I appreciate. I'm just basing off of my own experience. You know, we loved it growing up, and now we go back and we like, damn, I need more of this. I want that same feeling for people who watch my stuff. Man, I really see kids out playing these days. They're all online now, which is said. I said the same thing, but I saw a bunch of kids playing like when me and Ego was hanging out. And I was like, bro, this is beautiful to see kids having fun, run, tag. You see a kid like fucking he getting chased, but then he like jump over something or like jump through something that the other kid can't. And it's like, ooh, got your ass. Get good, son. Get good, son. Helen wishes seeing these kids' properties and dairy rails turned into slash flicks is retarded and unnecessary. Best kids shows are the ones with adult humor. Early SpongeBob is a great example. Yeah, bro, they was cursing up a storm on the episode. Like, yeah, all of that. All right, man. Okay, so the poll. I was just over here. Now the poll so far, y'all might be looking at it. Says, what types of heroes do you prefer? Sci-fi with 46%. Fantasy with 54%. I'm gonna end that poll right there. I think once you end it, you can't see it anymore.
Okay.
Yep, poll completed. 28 votes. Appreciate y'all. But fantasy won with 53%. Nosferatu, you make the poll, bro. You make the Gator poll. Better be some attractive men, though. I told you I ain't risking no gay card for no fat slobs, for no piece of shit men. All right. So that's what the people like. They prefer their fantasy heroes. I think we probably a little bit of biased. I know we got John A. Douglas up in here. He a fantasy author, so he like fantasy for the win. You know, telling how many of his people came in here and took over the poll. The election was rigged. Ego, what are your thoughts on that, bro? What kind of heroes you prefer?
I kind of enjoy sci-fi just because for me it's you either taken to another planet or you're having something given to you and it's your responsibility in the real world to help make it happen. I really liked Star Kid growing up, about this boy who loves superheroes and then he finds this alien biosuit, and so he winds up having interactions with an extraterrestrial. I really loved E.T. growing up. Just the fact that they were actually kids dealing with extraterrestrials, and the way that they interact with them as children is completely different than when you're interacting with them as adults. So I love Resident Alien that's on see the Sci-Fi Channel right now. It's so hilarious because you have this alien that wants to destroy the world, and he's getting like picked on by a 7-year-old. Like a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old are outsmarting him, and it's so funny. So you have those interactions with sci-fi that I think I can work with. Fantasy, I understand. It's just fantasy pulls you into the world, whereas sci-fi kind of says it pushes you where it's coming into our world, and it's how we interact with it. So for me, I usually prefer sci-fi because it lets you be the hero, whereas fantasy, it's more of you watching the hero's journey.
That's beautiful. I never thought about that. Fantasy, it is like more destined, or like anime where you're like chosen, or like there's something greater that's kind of happening that puts you on this journey for the most part. But then sci-fi is like, okay, this is our world. These are the consequences of, like I was saying with the Flash, like I fucking got zapped at the right time type shit. I wasn't chosen, like just unfortunate events made me greater. I personally prefer fantasy because of the supernatural, the like werewolves are my shit. Like John was just saying, like orcs are his thing. But I like because I think with the supernatural, you're dealing with elements that are already there. They're probably not known to us in our small human minds, like this little plane of existence, but it's like this is actually a part of the world. You're just being able to tap into it. And I think I prefer that to the science.
Okay.
Where, like we were saying, like some unfortunate event has to happen, or I mean, like a Chronicle, for instance, like you got that meteor thing
I
came from.
love Chronicle, man.
Yeah,
Really?
love.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's cool. I fucked with, or like Ben 10 came to mind, like the stuff on the thumbnail, like Kim Possible. Well, I'm gonna go into those, but like Ben 10 is sci-fi, and it's beautiful. Now the point of this is like, yeah, what do you prefer? But they're all heroes to us. And yeah, just kind of see where people are. What do you like? What do you like? But I think they definitely bleed into one another, or you definitely have crossovers. Or like with superheroes, for instance, some people, like you have a Juggernaut who get his power from magic, but then you have the X-Men who get their power from this is science, which in a way is supernatural. It's natural. This is just the most best version of what a human can be. So those crossovers are there. And yeah, I was just asking just to see what genres y'all like, but it is definitely, I guess with hero, it's definitely a genre to where you can get a whole bunch of different elements in it. And it's something for everybody. Like with a Marvel or a DC, it's like we got our Zatannas and we got our Supermans, Batmans, which is like sci-fi in a way. You can get something for everybody with just a hero genre or an adventurer.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, part of it was I used to do the whole choose your own adventure. I still did the choose your own adventures growing up, and so
Mhm.
usually the ones that I would gravitate to were the ones that were generally sci-fi. You know, if you're gonna ease me into something, I'd rather it, be something that steps into our world and we have to interact with it, as opposed to being pulled into a world you don't understand. I mean, I've kind of dipped my toe a little bit more in fantasy. I think one of the books that really helped me do that was Birthright. Excuse me, it's 10 volume. It's a 10 volume comic, but it's actually one of my top comics that I've ever read.
Mhm.
10 volumes, relatively affordable. I think each volume is maybe like $9 or $10. So maybe like under $100, you can actually get the entire series on there. But it kind of blended the scientific with a lot of the supernatural and fantasy. So if you have a hard time getting into fantasy, I would suggest Birthright, the comic, because it helps kind of ease you into that story.
Okay, so John says it fantasy, sci-fi, horror, westerns are all fantasy in nature. The genre designations were an invention of bookstores to categorize them on differing shelves. I see that. You do have to, because even with the sci-fi stuff, there is fantasy, because ain't no way if your ass gamma bomb blow up in your face, your ass is dead. So that's a fantasy where you become this big strong green man. Superhero. But yeah, it's a lot of crossover. And like again on the thumbnail, I got like Juniper Lee and the American Dragon Jake Long,
Oh yeah.
which are both fantasy, diverse characters. They Asian, probably, I guess you could say stereotypical, because he dragons and all that type of shit with him. But we still had these heroes, and it's like every hero doesn't have to be what I think mainstream is seeing heroes as, is just big strong men that's whooping ass and taking names, because they have their females trying to emulate that. Whereas you get like a Kim Possible, I'm just call me, beat me when you want to reach me. I go in, I know some martial arts, I got gadgets as well. You have a Juniper Lee and it's funny because she was stronger than the average person, but that was a like designation. That was a magical designation that she had, or a position. That's the Techuan Z. but there's another plane of existence of supernatural creatures, and it's like bleeding over. Some of them like, hey, I'm about to come to this human world and fuck shit up, and she like, no, you ain't. So her like the Peter Parker story, like, damn, bro, I'm about to be late for school, but this monster over here wrecking shit. So you get to see the same story, but like Spider-Man, okay, sci-fi, but then Juniper Lee, fantasy. So they definitely, yeah, I can see what John is saying. Like they're the same shit. That was just a way for other people to kind of further like differentiate between them.
Well, I mean, that's that, and I think that I don't know if you ever saw the Page Master.
Yes, Macaulay
so like,
Culkin.
yes, with Christopher Lloyd and Whoopi Goldberg, I believe was
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, I actually really like that because it's like if you didn't know what each were, Page Master was a great way to explain it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, he embraced horror, fantasy, and what was it? It was horror, fantasy, and then action / adventure, right? One was
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember the pirate book. Yeah.
yeah. Gold, you ain't got any.
Yeah, that was back in the day, bro. That's VHS, son.
Yeah.
That
copies, people.
What was the other one? With the kid riding the dragon, the white dog dragon dude.
Oh, Never Ending Story.
Yeah, but he was reading a book. Fantasy again. That just tells you like the power of a child's imagination. It can really take you on an adventure. What was some other stuff I got on thumbnail? Gargoyles, supernatural. It's an element of this world. Humans, we just don't. Present day, we don't know about it, but back then, they knew what was up. You know, that's why you get like Van Helsing's, because like, hey, bro, there's all type of orcs and trolls, vampires and shit running around. Bro, we need somebody that's gonna do something about it. Then you get that. So that's dope. I said the Spider-Man, Power Rangers. That is, you know, what is Power Rangers? Is that sci-fi or is that fantasy? What's your thoughts on that?
On Power Rangers? Because to me they seem like intergalactic cops. I thought it was more science fiction than anything, than fantasy. Like,
I feel you, and I will say that, but I think as it progressed, it got to the point to where it was more fantasy. Like they had Mystic Force, they had Ninja Storm, you know, shit, what's Dino Thunder? Like what's the power to channel dinosaur energy? Is that science fiction or is that was that fucking fantasy?
That's what I'm saying. Like I right after when they brought back, I got maybe as far as them bringing back Tommy as the White Ranger. And then I watched a few episodes after that, and like that was it. And when I looked at it again, they're in space. It's a whole new team. I was like, this is too much for me to take in. But
Yeah.
I'm saying OG Power Rangers up to that point for me was more science fiction than fantasy.
Okay, I'll take that. Nosferatu says Jackie Chan Adventures is the greatest fantasy of all time. Bro, I think we was talking about that on one stream. We was making some jokes, but yeah, Jackie Chan was the shit. Shindu, oh shit, when Shindu was just a fucking dragon talking on the wall, and then he ended up coming out being an actual badass dragon at some point with all them talismans. And then it's like, I'm looking at Jackie Chan, like I know this dude in the real world, he's just an actor, but in here, he's a fucking martial arts master. He on the like Jackie Chan was the shit. And again, supernatural. That fantasy, fantasy for me, bro. Fantasy for me.
All right.
The Lord says sci-fi. John Douglas, readers escaped. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitude. That's my terrible Zordon voice. Gargoyle. Power Ranger. Yeah. Bro, the Power Rangers movie is so cold. I watch that shit at least once a year. With Ivan Ooze. And then bro, when he met the Power Rangers, Tom was like, we're the Power Rangers. He was like, oh, where's my autograph book? Ivan Ooze was a monster, bro. And when you have a fucking monster in your face, it's like, this dude can kill me, or he can talk shit to me and have these quips and all this type of stuff to entertain others right before he kill me. Like that's a fucking villain right there, bro. And then they won by kicking him in the nuts, like he was grabbing him. And when they was in their big the Megazord, he was big. And then, oh yeah, bro, that movie was fucking wild. They had the black girl. That was a black girl. She kicked him in the nuts with her little part of the Megazord. And he was like, "Oh, let go of that grip." All right, bro. All right. Yeah, gargoyles. That's what we talk. Zax. Power Rangers started as science, then went fantasy. Yeah, but that's me talking on the Japanese ones. American Power Rangers is more fantasy. Yeah, and y'all know me being a furry. Wild Force was my shit. And then the special ranger, the ranger that's better than all the rest of them because he came last, and that bro was a motherfucking wolf. I was like, oh, this is me right here. Representation. I was the white man in that wolf suit, bro. I think people mix up sci-fi and fantasy over time, and now it's hard to tell the difference with some stuff. I think that's a good thing. I definitely think that's a good thing. Because, yeah, like with superheroes, you can get the supernatural, like you can get a Blade or you can get an Iron Man in the same world.
True.
I love sci-fi and fantasy pretty equally. I fuck with Blade Runner and Princess Bride.
Hey, that's diversity right there.
Yeah, that's diversity. I don't know nothing about that. Nosferatu teach me about. I know the Blade Runner, like the books and stuff. I seen a Maze Runner movies. I know it's not the same thing, but those movies were entertaining. I like that dude. Oh yeah, Hail the Lord, because we be going back and forth about that Teen Wolf show. That show is garbage. All right, but that dude, I think Dylan O'Brien, he's a phenomenal fucking actor. I love for him to feature in a Werewolf Project of Mine. Probably not live action. We'll see about the voice stuff, but yeah, dude, great. My wife said like every time we be watching something, she was like, "That man got that panic run down pat." Like you look like you feel the danger when he's running from something in a movie or a show. Yeah, Sheep Sitting, glad you're here, man. It's the first time I think when to seen you. Ivan showed up and told the villains to shut up, laugh my ass up. Bro, Ivan News was a fucking fool. And then Zed was trying to run shit. Ivan was like, bro, calm your ass down. Get in this little globe with this nagging ass bitch. What did he say to Donnie and Goldar? He was like, basically, y'all gonna do what I tell you, or you gonna join these two dinko dorks. And then they was inside the globe like, cuss that nigga out, man. Tell them all. Get up in here with us, bro. Hold your nuts. And them folks was like, Goldar, we didn't really like them anyway. I was like, bro, these are villains. They switching sides. They wild, bro. That movie, I love that fucking movie. Can we all agree Street Sharks was next level? Oh shit. Street Sharks and extreme dinosaurs. Bro. Oh, to be a little boy. To grow up with these strong ass figures. You see these buff ass dinosaurs got the bodies of these godlike men. You see the sharks fucking swimming through concrete, eating steel, bro. That shit was beautiful, man. And then there was regular ass animals, sci-fi. I think it's sci-fi. Some science fiction got the touching on there. Then they start standing up like, we some real dudes now. I ain't just sitting there eating grass and chilling no more, bro. Like, all right, yeah. Nosferatu, that one of the few vampires I fucks with. I'm gonna drop an underappreciated gem on you. Exo Squad, a sci-fi military cartoon that went hard with themes of war and slavery. Highly recommended. John, I remember you talking about that on Twitter, bro. I have not seen Exo Squad. I don't think I have. Let me Google this right now.
I don't remember. I'm looking at it right now. I don't remember this either.
I think because these were some like early 80s cartoons, and I think I caught
93, I think.
93? Okay, let's put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't remember this stuff.
I don't remember it. I remember the SWAT cats. I remember watching Transformers, the G.I. Joes. I do not remember Exo Squad. I remember it was the show about the kids that turned into dinosaurs, Dino Squad or some shit. Like, I remember some stuff, but yeah, I don't think I caught that one, John. I find something really appealing about a dude having to fight fantasy monsters with only a sword. Yeah, I feel you. It's like these monsters are here. This is part of our world, and this character just so happened to be the one dude that say, "I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna see how I can see if I can hold my own against a orc or a dragon or some shit. Let's see what I can do with it." The Blade Runner would change your life, man. Visually stunning and extremely deep, asking what it means to be human. Are you talking about the movie? I thought some people didn't really like the movie.
That was the new Blade Runner. The original was really good.
Oh, okay. The show is corny, but it's a great damn show. Fuck you, AJ. What was we talking about?
I forget what show you're talking about, man. But I should have brought that up. That's hilarious.
Damn, hell, the Lord. The show is corny, but it's a great damn show. I don't know. I probably think it's corny too. I don't know. Yeah, Sheep City and came through. And yes, Maze Runner is a great movie series. You still haven't read the books, though. Exo Squad was so dope. There you go. One of the first cartoons where people get killed. Oh shit. Oh shit. I'm about to go back. Physical media, people. I'm trying to find all of this stuff. I think we watched that cartoon, John. Exo Squad was 90s. It didn't get a big following, but it was good. Okay. Now the original from the 80s is goated. The new one is retarded.
Blade Runner. Yeah.
Okay.
Blade Runner. Yeah.
Shit, that reminds me of the and I see you held the Lord Teen Wolf. Yeah, bro, I can't do it. More Teen Wolf for you, bro. That is not a great show. You just see I don't even want to shit on that show right now. Anyway, how did the movie go though? Hell the Lord. I thought people was disappointed. Tell me your thoughts on that, man. How you feel about it? But with that 80s being goated and the new one is retarded, that reminds me of Thundercats. That's on the thumbnail. I watched Thundercats growing up, but I wasn't attached to it. I think I caught like the end of Thundercats, but that reboot that came out on Toonami, I loved it.
Really?
It got canceled, but I love that. Why you say really? You got thoughts on that?
No, I'm trying to remember. It's the Toonami version. I think I'm thinking of another one that came out. They did Thundercats after that. That's what I was thinking of.
No, you talking about that?
Yeah, that one.
No, not Thundercats Roar.
Okay, you want the Thundercats on Toonami. That's different. Oh, Toonami
yes.
They were doing. Okay, yeah. Toonami have respect. Okay.
And for some reason, it got canceled. I don't know why, but that was a great fucking show. To me. But yeah, I didn't like He-Man. It's another one. What was that show where I think you had some strong dude? There was a woman, a rhinoceros that like shot fucking.
Oh, you're talking about that was Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah,
that was that was
the two like gooey characters.
Yeah. Oh my god. I gotta figure out I know what you're talking about because I used to watch the show all the time because it would be that with Space Ghost and
Space Ghost. They had the Wonder Twins, Man, I Miss Old School, Toonami, and Adult Swim. That shit introduced me to anime as a whole, not including Pokemon and DBZ. Agreed. That but how we're talking about these old cartoons.
I mean, it was called the Herculoids.
The Herculoids, yeah.
Herculoids.
Have you seen the Secret Saturdays? Oh, bro, that's some shit. It don't need to be adapted now, but I'm finna look this up, bro. If y'all remember the Secret Saturdays, it was a 2000s cartoon.
Hold on, I gotta check out for 1 second. Be right back.
Peace, bro. Peace. Get out of here. All right, I'm gonna show y'all this because the Secret Saturdays was my shit. Now, this show right here, you want to talk about diversity, representation. You got this strong black man. You got him a white wife. They got a mixed kid. And you know what they do? Science and fantasy. They figured out, like, you have these things. What were they called? I forgot what they called, but actual, like, supernatural creatures in that world. And they would either fight them. In the case of these three, they, like, recruited them and was like, hey, just come be a part of the family. And the son, he had a special gift to where he could communicate with them. And this is something that, look at that. I don't think this is real. Damn, this better not be real. I'm gonna check it out. I didn't like this being 10. What was this? Omniverse? I didn't like it, but look at that. The Secret Saturday, bro. This is a cartoon that I think would do well to be modernized or to be continued. Look at that. Look at that. Bro, look, then he got the scar over the eye. This ain't gone. Look at he represent ego. Look at that. Oh, you back?
I'm back. Caught you talking shit.
Look at that. Family. And then like you didn't have to beat the man down. They was both. It's like the whole family was just kicking ass together. And the only thing they had to do was make sure the son didn't just run off and run into no danger himself. Because the villain was trying to capture the son because he had that gift. So he was like, I can use you to go find all of these these monsters, and like Pokemon, I can use it for my own bidding. Take over the world. But yeah, that was a show that I fucking love. Mike Has Bad Knees. The one of Toonami was better than the original, and I grew up on the original. Oh snap! All right, Mike in the fight with me. Bring back Thundercats reboot. C4C Thundar. I know you're talking about Thundar. The was the Barbarian, some shit like that. But no, I didn't watch that. Was that who was the dude that fought the Panther head ape body character?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I was like, you talking about Tekken? No.
No. Okay. Yeah, they talking about the Hercules, so they knew what I was talking about. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Hey, that's great, and that was another reason that I was like, She-Hulk is just trash. Cause Space Ghost had a fucking a multiple season show of a super dude that just sitting there talking to people, kind of like a podcast, like a talk show thing. Like She-Hulk ain't try to have none of those elements in that show whatsoever. Words can't describe how much I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's not no hero shit though, Nosferatu. I guess it depends on what episode you looking at or the movie or something. But no, I feel you, bro. Early Adult Swim was dope. I remember the Secret Saturdays. They had the Mix Boy. Yep, the Mix Boy. I missed the Secret Saturdays when it aired. John, it's great to me. It's great to me. But seeing the little kid with the gift to communicate with animals, like that was my shit. So, and then the strong family, the mom, the dad that was there, like all of that type of stuff. The lessons learned along the way. That one character y'all saw, he was like, I didn't grow up with Star Wars really. My dad put me on the games. I watched the movies, but I didn't understand the politics, so I just saw dudes with light swords and powers. But this character was like, and I forgot his name, unfortunately, but that was like my Chewbacca. That was the hairy, big dude that's hanging around with the little scrappy Han Solo like character in the main dude. But yeah, you say I don't know this one. That is real. What up, Hell Delore? They made a cameo on Ben 10, just like how Generator Rex had a cameo. So that was real. C4C. I do remember Generator Rex, more sci-fi, like that little era of Cartoon Network. It was pretty decent. Mummies Alive? No, we did not. But I was watching episodes of that a few months ago. And that was coming out during that time to where we had just teams of characters that you just kind of fell in love with. You like, it was like Mighty Ducks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a pretty cool
show. We was blessed, bro, to grow up with the stuff that we had. Adult Swim saved Family Guy when they were taken off the air. A lot of people forgot that. Christopher Miller, he up in here. Kind of late. We winded down, but we glad you up in here. Nosferatu, Carl is my spirit animal. I can see that, John. I can see that. I can see that. Hot take, Shake was Tony Stark before Robert Downey Jr.
Probably.
I'll let you have it. I disagree, but I'll let you have it. Bro, they are technically heroes. They just don't do shit and chill at the pad all day. Yeah, that ain't no hero, bro. That ain't no hero. He even had the beard. Look at y'all. The junior Dr. Doolittle. Dr. Doolittle's my shit. Yeah, I'm getting through these comments. We wind down. We passed 2 hours. So we're gonna hop up out of here soon. It's been fun though. John, I fucking love Carl. From his aesthetic to attitude is perfect. Yeah, like you one of them dudes that like you live next door to this shit. That's all. And that shit always creeping onto your property in some way. You getting involved with they nonsense. My childhood was Yu-Gi-Oh, Ben 10, Spectacular Spider-Man, and more. Great time. Good childhoods, bro. Yu-Gi-Oh, that shit iconic. Y'all seen that meme? It's like when you turn 21 and the cops ask for your ID, and then they got the Yu-Gi-Oh with the like, I'll gladly show my hands, son. Y'all forgetting the gargoyles? No, we talked about gargoyles, Christopher Miller. We didn't talk in depth, but that is one of those fantasy shows that I was more I cared more about. Like I'd rather see a gargoyle swoop down with his little loincloth and his chest all out, beat the hell out of some dudes than some Dero. I am here. I am coming to save you. Like, get your whack ass out of here, bro. Bring me a monster that speak English. Get Etrigon ass down here.
Oh my god.
I could never get into Mighty Ducks, but that theme song was fire. Yeah, the show was fire. I damn sure didn't watch the shows about sports. I mean, the movies. What's up, Ego? Hope you're doing good. Broseph, hope you're doing good. Ego, Gargoyles. Y'all forgot. Christopher Miller, we talked about Gargoyles. You late, bro. Get in here next time. 10:45. I'll be trying to start on time so that y'all can feel like this is actually serious and we taking it serious. So 10:45, Saturday 8 a.m. That's when it's supposed to go down. And if I'm late, shit on me in the comments until we get there. Tonight, what's happening tonight? 79% drop for Wakanda Forever at the box office just in. Bro, I hope they make every bad decision to be burned into the ground. Yeah, we mentioned Gargoyles. The real heroes were Ed, Nettie.
Double D.
Double D. Butter toy. Ed boys. Ed
Oh
boys.
my god.
Yu-Gi-Oh versus Duel Masters. I wasn't into the Duel Masters because I grew up on Yu-Gi-Oh. Like Bionicle not Bionicle. What was there with the Bakugan? Yeah, they tried to come through. I'm like, nah, bro, y'all too late. Give me a Beyblade for your ass later. Rip. Oh, that was another thing growing up as a kid. I had a Beyblade. I don't know if you remember Beyblade, Ego, but
you're ripping things. Yeah.
Bro, so I don't like the main characters. I like the side dudes, like the Vegetas and the Sasuke. So I liked Kai. He had the Dronzer. And I had this Dronzer Beyblade. Somehow my mama, she bought me the Beyblades of like the original team members. Tyson, Kai, Max, and Ray. Okay. Somehow she bought me the Beyblade for all of them. And I was like, oh my goodness, Mom, how did you know? And I had that Dronzer and I walked around. I took that boy to school because we were Beyblade at school. I'll be breaking Beyblades. I was like, one day, Dronzer is going to bust about this Beyblade. And I hope my parents don't whoop my ass because he's going to break through this house. I was that cold.
Man, so you don't want to see me with this Beyblade, fam.
Quail, man. Look, man, Doug wasn't no hero. He was just a kid dreaming. Bobby's World is a better superhero than Doug. Bobby could do it all. And he had a vehicle. He had a big wheel. Doug waiting on his big sister to give him a ride. Man, I need to rewatch Rocket Power. You broke my clavicle. I don't remember that reference, but yeah, Rocket Power is the shit. I look at the options for cartoons my boys have now, and it's all trash. Agreed, Christopher Miller. Now, you already showed your ass by coming in here late. And now you further disrespecting. Get out of here, son. Before we even cut the stream off, get out of here with that mess. I was more of an Itachi man. From Naruto? Oh, yeah, because I said Sasuke. Itachi, he served his purpose. Yeah, I had a Beyblade. My friends and church and had them also, but some Karen told all the moms that it was satanic. And the pastor banned them. That's what we were talking about earlier, C4C. You came in late too, but we were talking about the entertainment that we used to indulge in or enjoy as young lads and lasses, and the parents was like, nope, get that out of my house. Now, my folks ain't do nothing wild, like burning shit and all that. Like I said, my dad was a geek, so he was like, let that boy have his fun. But, man, I can only imagine going through that as a child. God damn.
It's a lot.
Like, my parents would, my family would come over, all my brother and my cousins and all that type of shit, and they'll break my shit, but then my parents would just buy me the next version of that thing. So it would annoy me because I'm like, damn, it ain't even got to be like that. But you know, it worked out for me. Anyway, I hate people now because of it. So anyway, watch Pokemon as well. Oh, hold on. In case you didn't know, the cartoon Rocket Power, the park they skate in, was a direct duplicate of the park that Tony Hawk's dad built him as a kid. FYI, the more you know.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Watch Pokemon as well. Yep. Digimon for life. Digimon to kick Pokemon ass. Only thing I missed out on was Halloween because my parents said it was the devil's holiday. Yep. My mama tried to pull that shit as well, but my dad was like, not having it. All right, y'all. Ego, you got some closing thoughts. That's the end of the show, y'all. It was fun. The 17, 18. people that's been up in here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's been great. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, we're both going to be working on our channels, releasing some things pretty soon. But thank you guys for joining us. We try to do this every Saturday around 10:45. You know, we want to give you guys that chill Saturday morning cartoon vibes. And thank you guys for just being very involved in the chat. So thank you guys.
Now, Shratu said his favorite hero-based show was Golden Girls, and I was watching Golden Girls just recently. I love the Golden Girls, but my favorite girl team has to be the Powerpuff Girls. I would love to see them mature and become some badass superheroes on par with the strong men that we know. Yeah, make Powerpuff Girls great again. You stay away from that Candy Bobby Boucher. It's the devil. All right, we're gonna get out of here, man. Y'all got comments. I hate that we can't address them directly, but I'll play them during the outro. Hey, it was fun. Catch y'all next Saturday, like Ego already said. Hit me up on Twitter with like more topics, more conversations, and polls, I guess, that y'all would like to have. Because good geek conversation. That's what we're trying to have. Bring y'all the news here and there as it comes to us if we feel like it's worth talking about, but we just trying to have a good time. All right, people. Peace.
I'm gonna knock these stickers off. Does this like stays around, stays in our vote, you know?